Hey everyone, what is up? Welcome back for episode 3 of Fate Hollow Ataraxia. So, it's been like 2 weeks since the last episode. That's a few more days than I intended, but we're still rolling. This isn't like an eternal break or something. The last episode was fairly interesting. Most of it was slice of life, like the vast majority of it. But right at the ending, I think we finally begin to understand what the core loop of this game is going to be, kind of literally. So basically we just get through those first 4 days of kind of slice of life stuff, and then all of a sudden, this whole time, it seems like things are a little weird in the town, but we don't really know how, until right at the end. It's like, there's clearly been a catastrophe, right? Like, the streets are empty, but, like, there's no corpses, I think is how they described it, right? We meet this mysterious figure, and Shiro seems to be devoured by some like shadowy wolves, right? So it seems like there's this impending catastrophe that we have to stop, and we definitely did not stop this time. So, and I'm guessing it's just going to loop us right back. I'm not 100% sure how this is going to work. We'll see. But let's just go ahead and hit start again, see where this brings us. I assume it's going to be back to those, like, yeah, day 1. Goodness. Okay, so yeah, we did that event. Go into town. Okay, there's plenty of other ones we could interact with. There's a new one at the school. Oh, let's go somewhere else for now. We've got the Ryudo Temple. I don't see anyone here. Okay, and we can just skip days if we don't, like, say we've done the events that we see. We can just skip days. That's interesting. Is there anything over here? It looks like going to school is the only, like, viable option. So let's just go ahead and do that, I guess. We've got Fujimura, and we have Issei. We saw a Fujimura event last episode, so let's go talk to Issei, I reckon. I don't know if it really matters.
Oh, ohayo, Issei.
I greet Issei, who came out of the student council room. As expected of the student council president, he's so enthusiastic about his work in the morning.
そっか。Issei はまだ生徒会長なんだよな。
不審なことを言うな、エミヤ。
Issei Ryudo is known as the student council president, and this fact won't change. The atmosphere that envelops Homurahara is that Issei equals student council president. Is that the name of their school? Is the name of their school ever stated in State Night? I feel like it has to be. I feel like it has to be, but I don't remember it actually ever being stated. Like right now. Okay, brief jump cut because my webcam decided to just shit the bed and just turn off for no reason. Okay. Hopefully that's not a problem moving forward. Let's just keep moving. Anyways, what I was saying is, I don't know if the name of the school is ever said, so, because I'm guessing Homurahara is the name of the school, but I don't recall having ever seen that word, so I don't know if I'm just being forgetful again, or if they just were like, maybe we should name the school in the sequel. Let's move on, though. Not a super important detail either way. The atmosphere around here is that Issei equals student council president, which is true. People had said that he was a student council president candidate even when he was a first year, and he's been meeting those expectations more than enough. I'm sure he'd still be called president even once he retires, and there's no doubt that he'd be called that even as an alumnus. No, more than that. For some reason I feel like I've never seen that word written that way. Like, rather than alumni. Alumnus, like, I'm guessing that's how you say that. I know, I can clearly tell what it means, but I feel like I've never seen, like, that version, I guess. No, more than that.
部活は軒並み時代に引き継ぎしてるのにな。
You gotta... Who's the next generation, man?
仕方なかろう。用意こそしているが、引き継ぎたくても相手がいない。
That is true. It may be that Issei Student Council President Aura is too strong. There were no candidates or recommendations in the Student Council elections after. So, an unprecedented situation was happening, where the president election was postponed to the next semester.
いや、大荷物だな、一世。
しかるべき人材が会長選で選ばれておれば、自分も元生徒会長と呼ばれていたはずなのだが、どうも今年の2年は新年と忍耐が未熟と見える。
He does seem like the type to do that, like the... I don't know how else to put it, but like kind of like the high school boomer. He mutters, trying to compose himself. It must be a great source of concern to Issei, since there's not enough energy in his voice.
生徒会の引き継ぎ難しいのか？
いや、そんなことはないのだが、現に今の執行部は2年の初期などを中心にして、なんとか3月の再会長選に向けて動いている。
誰かめぼしい2年に働きかけたりしてないのか？前の副会長のことか、一世の教え子みたいなもんだったろ？
If not, there's a big possibility that it might end in failure again. Well, it's not good to have Issei stay for half a year longer just to remain in office.
そうもいかん。彼女が自分の意思で立候補するならともかく、俺が推薦することはできん。
なんでさ？
Is that just like a she has to do it herself type thing, or is that like a she's not really built for it?
彼女のためにならんし、下手をすると派閥を作ることになりかねん。傀儡政権とまではいかぬが、俺の推薦では体育連の部長たちがいい顔はすまい。
Okay, so it was basically like he feels like he can't be the one to make that recommendation. They have to make that decision themselves.
そもそも生徒会は、正当かつ民主的な選挙によって行われるべきもの。俺の後任が誰になるかを決めるのは、俺ではなく、生徒全員でなくてはならん。
なるほど。
Yeah, I could see this. This seems like Issei to me. How admirable of the student council president. As long as there is this implacable? Why did that word cook me? The next president election must be a difficult voyage too.
しかし、桐島君以外に適任がいないのも事実でな。彼女はいっそ留年してもう1年どうですかなどと冗談を言うが、それではあまりに進歩がない。かといって他に遺発を継がせられる2年もおらん。
なかなか点が厳しい。
エミヤ、お前が一つ下の下級生であったら、おそらくは前乗していたであろうな。
First said I would have given you the job. Abdicate, as in give up the seat of student council president to me? Scary.
しかし、まだ時間はある。
Bro said, no, not me.
卒業まで生徒会長を続けることはそう苦ではなし。いや、むしろ延期の機会を与えられたことが幸いでもあるしな。
The roadmap that Issei established for reorganization when he got elected with an overwhelming amount of votes is a second year. But Issei didn't get elected because of the roadmap, but because Issei's existence itself makes him a student council president. There were not many students paying attention to the rest.
やり残しがあるってことか。
ホムラ原の改革を妨げる要因はまだ取り除かれていない。
そっか。まあ、10年来の暗黙のルールだからな。一期じゃ難しかったか。
せめてあと1年任期があれば、部費の不均等問題や、同好会部の適正化問題や、校則改正動議なども区切りがつくものを。残念無念。
He must have many regrets, but watching from the sidelines, I think Issei was doing well. But if I were to say just one thing, his allocation of passion was weird. He has always cared about those club budgets, huh? One of the causes was Issei's...
これもそれもだな。あの遠坂がいかんのだ。
Damn you, Tosaka! Somehow, it all comes back to Rin with him, always.
それか。
遠坂が運動部の肩を持ち、修学旅行に干渉し、天津さえ、隠然とした影響力で役員を脅しすかして意志をねじ曲げ、 結果かようにしてこの改革が遅れたのだ。
The usual Issei, bearing deep resentment. At this point, I have to settle in and listen to everything, or the subject of this tirade will make an appearance and everything devolves into war.
無駄な労力を遠坂に。あのホムラハラの女界に奪われなければ、今頃は穏やかな隠遁生活を送れたものを。
Their beef is always so funny to me.
いや、遠坂はあれで結構一世の方針をよく噛み砕いてたと思うけど、他の部長たちみたいに感情で反対してこなかったろ？
分かっている。それゆえに奴に口論で負けるわけにはいかんのだが。
So it's somewhat born of respect, it seems.
ところでエミヤは遠坂の肩を持つのか？
You got me.
いや、肩を持つっていうかだな。
I know how scary she is, so I'm worried for Issei. I can only pray that they won't take each other out, mutual kill style.
遠坂め、ここに至って俺の右腕を色仕掛けでもぎに来るとは。敵ながら最も効果的な攻撃を心得ているわ。勝つ。
Oh my goodness. I see Issei has not changed in the slightest. Issei nods. I feel like there's a part of him that admires Tosaka.
ああ、もしかして一世って
何かあるのか？
遠坂がいないと寂しいのか？
Bro reacted quite viscerally to that. Whoa. Issei's backing up with incredible force.
何のことだ？それはエミヤ。そもさん。
Bro got that little blush at his cheeks. Goodness.
切羽。だってほら、夜と触ると遠坂って言うだろ？一世もさ、ライバルにあいつがいなかったらやりがいがないんじゃないかと。
Everyone, every great needs a rival, you know?
失敬な。俺はあのような化粧の好敵手など持ちたいと思ったことはないぞ。
That creature.
遠坂もきっと同じだって。そういう意味では宿命のライバルだ。
I laugh, thinking about how their dynamic is actually kind of impressive. Oh, it's almost time for homeroom.
時間切れか。この件に関しては後で思うところを確かめるぞ。
Bro said, don't think I'm gonna let this slide.
いいぞ。遠坂への愚痴ならいくらでも聞いてやる。
Bro is teasing him.
引っかかるな、その言い回し。なぜ生温かい目をする？
Well, I mean, seems like the more we discuss, the more it proves that Issei and Tosaka are inseparable.
今は教室に急ごう。ここで油売ってると藤姉に先を越される。
That is true.
藤村先生か。確かに規則違反には容赦がない。急ぐぞ、エミヤ。
Glad this game's gonna flashbang me all the time too. I was really thinking I wanted that more often after Higu, you know? Okay, so it looks like if you go to the school, what, you have like the afternoon there too? Because I don't even have like a go to town option. So it looks like you have what, like a morning and like afternoon event at the school? Okay, kind of makes sense. Man, the choice between Shinji and Sakura, real difficult, man. I don't know. I guess Shinji can wait for later. I guess. I stopped by the archery range. Sakura should be preparing for club activities during lunch break here, but...
Senpai, konnichiwa.
Just as I thought, the new president of the Kyudo Club is diligently at work.
よ、昼も部活とはご苦労様。
ちょっと違うんですよ。今日はお昼を食べに来ただけです。
そうか。いや、そろそろ大会前の教練の時期だと思ったから。
Shooting arrows and filling in their practice journals even during lunch. That's what I hear that the competitive schools do. Okay, so that is the name of the school. Okay. I don't remember if that was like dropped in Stay Night or if I just I just forgot, or if this is just like a brand new thing, but that is just clearly the name of the school, I'd say. Our Homurahara Kyudo Club isn't that strict, but I can't say that goes for the season as well, for this season as well.
そうですね。そろそろ秋の大会もありますから。
去年も三つ釣りがいろいろ言ってたな。代表が足りないとか。
確かに昇格が惜しいところだったんですけど、今年はいいところまで行くと思います。
Bro, they need you.
1年生で達者な子がいるんです。
Shiro, they need you, bro. Could it be Mitsuzuri's little brother that I hear about? Either way, Sakura's smile is hopeful.
ああ、ところでさくら、昼食はいつもここで？
はい。道場版は私がこなしてるんですよ。それに鍵も預かってますから。
それはお疲れ様。で、
Sakura was holding a lunchbox. No, she was holding something that was too big for one person.
先輩、上がって一緒にお昼にしませんか？
No, that was not too big for Sakura, bro. Let's be real.
いいのか？俺の分の弁当あるのか？
I don't know. Did she just calculate this? I know she's been shown to be a pretty big eater.
はい。ちゃんと先輩の分も用意してあります。
Oh, she was just prepared for this, bro. She was so excited. Oh my lord.
ここに誘おうと思ってたところにちょうど来てくれたんでよかったです。
そりゃ助かる。では、ありがたくさくらのお弁当をいただきます。
はい。では先輩、どうぞ上がってください。やっぱり秋は涼しいですね、ここ。
吹きさらしの屋上と違って三方に壁があってちょうどいいしな。さて。
I sit on the wooden floor in the waiting area. It's my first time eating lunch here. I've heard that Mitsuzuri and Tosaka often drink tea here, though.
先輩、座布団持ってきます。
It's like literally the first scene in the whole series, damn near, right? Is Mitsuzuri and Rin having tea in here. Might not have been the literal first scene, but I think it... No, it definitely wasn't the literal first scene, but it was among the very first. In the prologue, once they swapped to Rin's perspective.
いや、大丈夫。元部員が座布団にふんぞり返って座ってたら、後で三つ釣りあたりに笑われる。
Yeah, you're probably not wrong.
そうですか。先輩はお客様ですから使ってもいいんですけど。
That doesn't mean Mitsuzuri wouldn't give him shit. Sakura is the current captain, so she's definitely not going to use one. Even so, she still looks a little uncomfortable herself.
審判座はどうですか、先輩。
あの畳に上がって飯食うのも変だし、ここでいい。
わかりました。じゃあ、お昼にしましょう。
Sakura sits next to me on the wooden floor and hands me a lunchbox. Whoa, there's quite a lot in here.
それでは、いただきます。お世話になりっぱなしです。
いえいえ、これくらいお茶の子さいさいですから。
I take the chopsticks and open the lunchbox. Salted salmon, rice, seaweed, and simmered chicken with root vegetables. It's pure Japanese style.
すみません。朝ごはんの流用品が多くて。
Look, there's nothing wrong with that.
いや、
That's
あ
working
れだけ
smarter.
忙しい中で作れば当然だ。俺なんか朝飯と同じものを昼飯で食ってることもあった。
That's working smarter, not harder, and avoiding waste. So, when I'm worn out after my part-time job, I don't have the extra capacity to figure out things for lunch. That changed after Sakura came.
藤姉なんか下手すると3食同じもの食ってても気がつかないし。
そうですか？結構藤村先生はそのあたり繊細じゃないかと思うんですけど。
要は気持ちよくお腹いっぱいになるかどうかだ、藤姉は。
あ、そうだ先輩。 今度は藤村先生のお弁当も作った方がいいですかね。
間違いなく喜ぶが、甘やかしちゃいかん、癖になると過去の経験が物語っている。
Versus, I've been there and done that. You better be ready to do it all the time if you decide to start.
はあ、いろいろ大変だったんですね、先輩も。
I nod and relish the flavor of the lightly salted salmon that fills my mouth. For her to make a Japanese-style lunch like this, Sakura's skills are immeasurable.
ライダーもお弁当を作れるようにならないかな。
どうだろうな。言えば黙々とチャレンジしてくれるんだけど、なんか義務って感じで楽しそうじゃないし。
That's fair. She was trying though. We got the scene with her trying.
ライダーと一緒にお料理できれば楽しいんですけどね。あ、でもやっぱり先輩と一緒が一番勉強になります。
Sakura gives a nervous laugh. It should be fine though. That kitchen could fit the three of us. As we continue to eat our meals, I come to a realization. Isn't this...
さくら、もしかして弁当間違えてないか？
そうですか？でもお箸は合ってますよ。
あれ、そうか。なんかさくらの弁当の方が大きい気がしたから。
Come on, bro. Now you're embarrassing her, bro. Come on. You gotta know by now that she eats. Now she's gonna feel bad. It must be because it looks bigger when compared to Sakura's slender legs.
でも間違えても同じですよ。
これ大きさも中身も同じ？
So no wonder it looked big. Wait, that's...
ああ、てっきりさくらは少ないのかなとか。
でもほら、私と同じ量だと先輩午後にお腹減っちゃうじゃないですか。
Bro, that was just her portion size. She's just embarrassed now.
そうか。でもそうなるとさくらには多くないか？
No. Bro, come on, bro. Lock in. Even for me, this is gonna put me at like 80% full, nearly topped off.
普通ですよ、普通。私もこれくらいなら全然平気です。
普通、そうか。普通だったんだ。
I've heard that some of the other girls sometimes skip lunch, though.
そうですね。やっぱり運動しているからでしょうね。私がたくさん食べても大丈夫なのは。
I mean, that certainly helps a lot, you know? So the key to dieting is not to eat less, but to use up energy. Well, it doesn't seem like Sakura cares. In fact...
それにですね、先輩。私たち、まだまだ育ち盛りですよね。
Bro, yeah, you got her riled up. Come on. Sakura is still growing. It makes me wonder what part of her is growing. Without thinking, my gaze starts to drift down. No, I can't. I refuse to disturb the sanctity of this space with such thoughts.
先輩、鮭、塩が強すぎました？
Shiro, bro, come on, man.
いや、弁当はうまいし、さくらの料理も上手だ。育ち盛りって、ほら、ちょっと考えてただけ。ほら、なんだ、この年になって、まだ背が伸びるのかな、とかな。
昔より先輩、背が伸びてますよね。これからも伸びるんじゃないでしょうか。
Bro, Archer still got like a foot on you.
もっと欲しいんだよな。
Well, that's what it seems.
こればっかりは鍛えて伸びるものじゃないから仕方ないか。
Wouldn't that be convenient?
気にしすぎですよ。今でも先輩はしっかりしてて頼りがいがありますから。
Hearing that makes me happy, even if it's flattery. Right now, I can only get stronger. If I were strong enough to be able to carry Sakura with one hand, I'd actually accept that compliment. I mean, that's just like the requirement. You just gotta be able to one-hand an entire human being.
あ、お茶汲んできましょうか。
欲しい欲しい。まだ時間があるし、ゆっくり一服してから戻ろうか。
はい、先輩。
How has bro not learned to just, I guess, keep his trap shut when it comes to Sakura's eating habits, bro? It embarrasses her every time, man. Also, I'm looking at it and it now literally says Homurahara High at the top. So it's, yeah, like I said, I figured at this point that was the name of the school, but it was literally just right there. That's awesome. Okay, do I even have an option besides go to work? I don't see anything, so I guess we'll go to work. After an uneventful day, it was time to go home. As evening falls, I start preparing dinner. I glance outside and see that the sun is already down. They say daytimes are short this time of year, so I'd better stay sharp if I want to enjoy the sunset.
Shiro, お風呂洗っといたわよ。使ってないバスタオルどこ？
セイバーに聞いてくれ。洗濯物の片付けはセイバーの仕事。
I answer while beating a rhythm with my kitchen knife. I can hear the bustle of multiple people behind me in the living room.
先輩、お醤油切れてます。商店街まで買い出しに行ってきますね。
もう遅いし、買い出しは明日にしよう。藤年地からちょっと分けてもらえばいいよ。イリア、さくらと一緒に。
Oh, Ilya's not here. She invades the house with Fujini in the morning, but she's often absent in the evening. If she does show up, it's usually suddenly after dinner when we're all relaxing.
では私が同伴しましょう。今朝の話もある。夜道の一人歩きは危険です。
セイバー、あ、そりゃ助かる。ライダーが行くと藤年とこの若い衆さんが怖がるからな。ささっと行って帰ってきてくれ。
Bro, Ryder just has that intimidating aura. I can see it, bro. The literal mafia goons get intimidated. Saber and Sakura let me know that they heard me. They take an empty glass bottle and cheerfully head off to visit the Fujimura group.
シロ、調理中にすまないのですが。
Ryder comes in as the other two depart. She want to help cook. Ryder doesn't show up in the living room until 7 o'clock sharp. She reads in her room all day until then.
あいよ、何？
シロの留守中、ゴシップの定期購入をしろと見知らぬ人物が訪ねてきました。断ったのですが、まだ諦めない。取ってくれるまで毎日来ると不屈の闘志を燃やしているのです。
Isn't that just a classic?
率直に言って、あれは敵とみなして良いのでしょう。
Whoa! Relax. It is not that serious.
いいな、断じてみなしてはいけない。
Dear God, Ryder. Because people would die. Be kind to people and yourself. Ryder's a patient person, but she doesn't waste time categorizing people as friends or enemies. Why does she look like that? Look at her face, bro. She seems so disappointed. This person's an enemy, that person's a friend. She's absurdly fast at putting people into those boxes. Saber's somewhat like that, though not really. Saber's definition of friends and enemies is broad, but once she decides you're on the wrong side, she doesn't hold back.
わかりました。自信はありませんが、明日もおとなしく彼の話を聞いています。
Now she just looks embarrassed. Bro, getting full Ryder sprites, like, and having her just be part of the game is kind of awesome. I don't know why I'm enjoying her screen time so much.
無理に付き合う必要ないぞ。新聞ならもう撮ってるって言えば3ヶ月はやってこないからその方向で。もしくはさくらを呼べば即時解決。
What the hell is Sakura gonna do that you're so confident that she'd settle it instantly? Does she have experience with this?
さくらですか？しかし、ああいった出会いはさくらも苦手だと思いますが。
苦手なものって克服できるらしい。さくらの新聞勧誘の交わし方はすごいぞ。見ているこっちが怖くなるぐらい。
Dear God. She leads them on into throwing in other subscriptions and add-ons, but then she turns them down at the very end. That's evil. And her smile when she says, "I'll call the police if you don't leave," is too shocking for any man to bear. Bro, what the fuck? This probably is not in the CG gallery. Oh my goodness. Soccer is a demon when it comes to certain things, and I guess newspaper salesmen are one of those things. It's an aggressive defense on par with the Kyoto woman offering you bubuzuke to get you out of their hair.
なるほど。日頃温和な分、本気で怒らせてはいけないというのは理解できます。
Yeah, we got a whole route about why you don't want to piss Sakura off. That's not really what that route is about at all. So that's a terrible comparison, but you know. I guess you don't really get the point because it didn't really make sense, but you know.
ところで、その桜はどこに？
セイバーと一緒に藤村組だ。すぐ帰ってくるから、藤姉とテレビでも見ててくれ。
She's about to do something crazy, isn't she? Gonna piss them off. They're gonna piss her off somehow.
盛り付けの手伝いはしなくてよろしいのですか？
いや、気持ちだけで十分。今日は大皿一枚で事足りるから。
Ryder gives me a quick bow and heads back to the living room.
ライダーさん何するのよ。せっかく手に入れた伝説のラケットレインボーガンデムのお披露目なのに。すみません。こちらのニュースが見たかったもので。うわ、明確すぎてもはや理由になってねえ。なんでよ。退屈しないわよそのアニメ。
Fujimura it would actually be the type to watch anime, huh? she totally loves fighting anime, doesn't she?
ラケットのくせにフロッピーとかピザとかレーザー砲を内包したマット兵器とか使ってね、もう面白いとかつまらないとか超越した次元の作品なんだから。
Weapons like what? Like pizzas? Ryder nods expressionlessly along to Fujini's explanation while watching the news. According to her, reading is a key part of her lifestyle, but TV is purely a hobby.
しかし、なんだな。
Our house really is lively now. Imagine how much noisier it's going to get once we all sit down for dinner. It's gonna be hell. See, and there's the text starting to get red. It's interesting seeing that progressively get a little more red. It's past 9 p.m. after dinner. Dinner ended without any major incidents, and everyone returned to their own rooms. It's still too early to sleep, so how should I enjoy the rest of my time? So, I mean, it's still spending time at the Emmy house is definitely the correct option. But we're gonna finish the investigation of the town at night by ourselves. We've only got one left, right? Yeah. What I assume is gonna be all clear 1. We did that completely backwards, you know? But whatever. Nothing out of the ordinary here. There's 0 foot traffic, and I can hear the bustle of family life coming from inside the houses. The town is the picture of peace, and this moonlit night is the perfect time for an evening stroll.
異常なし。次行ってみるか。
I leave the Japanese-style neighborhoods behind. Whoa, hello? Okay. They love to just, during these scenes, just, randomly flash something really weird. And then, Shiro doesn't even seem to notice it, or realize something is out of the ordinary. Once I do, I spot a few pedestrians in the corner of my eye. The brief sight leaves a faint impression in my memory, as thin as origami paper, or he's just misunderstanding what he saw. Nothing out of the ordinary. There are no clues in Miyama. Cross the bridge and continue your investigation in Shinto. Oh wait, was that a choice? Wait. I just kind of thought I needed to click the screen to move on, but that might have been a choice. Okay, so it looks like school's where we're supposed to go. We already did that Saber interaction where she's kind of homesick a little bit. What's going on at the Ryudo Temple? They told us to go and I see nothing. Nice. Okay. So I guess we're going to the school. I forgot her name again. I guess we'll see it in a second. It seems like this is an actual plot event, but I don't see any other ones to avoid. Or, to do instead. So... It's a day off at school, so there's not many people. I hear the brass band club play in the distance with other kinds of wind instruments mixed together when...
何事?
Like a beast frantically running through. Ow!
それはこっちの言い分だ。急に飛び出ておいて言うセリフがそれか。
そっちこそぼんやり突っ立ってるな、エミヤ。
Fuyuki's self-proclaimed Black Panther got up first. It was a sudden greeting by Kaede Makidera from the track club. Makidera, right, that's her name.
なんだ、マキデラか。前見て生きろ、じゃなくて走れ。
I guess while living too. That's good advice.
おう、いつも前を見て走ってるさ。エミヤだって前見てれば今のくらい避けられただろ。
人をなんだと思ってる。
Apparently she thinks you're the Black Panther, but like the Marvel one. My butt is pathetically on the floor. I feel full of humiliation since Makidera is looking down at me.
エミヤかよ。これでお前と恋に落ちたらどうするんだ?
Huh? I guess that's probably a play on some kind of trope. Believe me, bro's already got options, man. I don't know if we need even more options.
は?
冗談だっつーの。ま、エミヤなら怪我はないな。
I guess she got you there. I'm more worried about Makidera, the ace of track, than myself. She looks fine at a glance, but I bet she would push herself and hide the fact that she's injured.
今のシーズン重要なんだろ？打ったりひねったりしてないか？
エミヤに気を使われちまった。こっちは全然平気。ほら、エミヤ。
She must have felt bad that I was on the floor this whole time, as she offers me a hand. I try to stand up without her help, and my fingers get caught on a thin chain on the floor.
おや?
Tosaka's pendant that was still in the pocket of my clothes. I try to put it away in a hurry, but I notice that I'm being watched with a suspicious stare.
マキデラ、これは...
It must have been ill-matched that I have such jewelry with me. But Makidera's stare isn't at any normal stare.
それ、同じものを遠坂も持ってた。
Yeah, I say, it was a knowing stare. That wasn't just a, what the hell is that?
なんでエミヤが持ってるの?
Some questions are better left unanswered.
これか。説明すると長いんだけど。
They made a visual novel about that once. It's more of an absurd story than a long one, so I can't talk about it in detail. This pendant is a memento of my father, and the design just coincidentally happens to be the same. Should I forge such a story right now?
もしかして。
遠坂のを盗んだわけじゃないぞ。今も同じものをちゃんとあいつ持ってるし。
じゃあ、レアってことだね。
Oh, brother, you are not helping. Brother, you are not helping your case. Makidera's laugh seems to be strangely delighted, as if to say that it's way more suspicious that I have matching pendants with Tosaka.
いやー、エミヤも隅に置けないね。
Oh, come on.
何を企んでる、マキデラ。
エミヤと遠坂がお揃いのジュエリーだなんて。
She sees the vision. It seems like some unsettling plan is being plotted within this Black Panther. I have the same pendant as Tosaka. If such a rumor is spread, who knows what kind of horrors the Homurahara boys would rain down upon me. A cold sweat trickles down my forehead. A nauseousness weighs my stomach down.
な、エミヤ、大心あれば敵軍皆殺し。ほら、なんだ？私は見なかったことにしてやってもいいんだぞ。
So you're evil, that's what I'm gathering here, and you're a little schemer.
マキデラ、交換条件はなんだ？ クレープか、それともあんみつか。
いや、そんなんじゃなくてさ、そのペンダント売ってる場所、私に教えてくれないかね。
そんなものを知ってどうするんだ。
いいじゃん別に。ほら、そのダサいデザインが逆にかっこいいっていうかさ、何、私もちょっと欲しくなったっていうかさ。
No, this is some kind of scheme, bro.
それエミヤがどっかのショップで買ったんだろ。店教えれ。
Bro's about to dig himself a deeper hole for sure. See, can't answer that.
それは俺も知らない。
This time it isn't a lie or anything, but that's the only answer I have. It's not something Tosaka bought either, and its origin is something inherited from ancestors. This isn't an object that can be bought from somewhere.
もしかしてさ、エミヤ、
なんだ。
それあんたがプレゼントしたんじゃなくて遠坂からプレゼントされたの？
Perhaps.
ああ、そういうことにしておいてくれ。
It occurred to me how strange reality was when I realized there were two. Ow! This time it's not an accident, but an attack.
何すんだマギデラ。
この男殺せ、絶対殺
殺すって人がおとなしく2度も3度も殺されると思うなよ。
We're just gonna use a command seal.
せ。遠坂にそんな高価な品を貢がせる悪しき男は私が天に代わって懲罰を下してくれるわ。
Yo, what is with mocking Dara, bro? She is crazy. To think that I would be challenged like this on a day off in the hallway. Why the hell is she this mad about Tosaka and my pendant? I don't know why, but I need to defend myself.
逃げるな、エミヤ。
冗談はよせ。あ、さてはお前さっき足じゃなくて頭打ったんだろ。
That'll really calm her down. That will really calm her down, I think.
もはや倒して経験値とそのレアアイテムゲットだぜ。
Yo, she's trying to mug you. The Black Panther of Homurahara closes in on me. Oof. If I meet anyone with a nickname even remotely similar to Panther in the hallway from now on, I'll run away as fast as I can. What an encounter. But it seems that was story important, so maybe something about that pendant is going to be like brought up later. Okay, so we can go into town today. You can hang out with Sakura. Says there's a new event at Ryudo Temple. And then we had the Lancer event. So what's going on at Ryudo Temple? We have no clue. Nice. I mean, we just hung out with Sakura not that long ago, so I kind of am curious about what's going on in the back forest. So let's just see what's going on here, I think. I disappear into the woods behind the temple. The vast, mountainous landscape below my eyes reminds me how pure and unadulterated nature still is out here. Still is out here. I don't like the way I said that. When I remember that the Einsburn forest lies beyond this mountain, it makes the familiar scene feel like something from a foreign land. I've been out this way and seen these sights many times before. It shouldn't feel special after all this time. I squint my eyes at the blazing sunlight. It kind of reminds me of the image of like the house we saw with Saber when she was thinking about England. I squint my eyes at the blazing sunlight. I close my eyes at the breathtaking vista. Somehow, this quiet makes me feel at ease. If I forget about my worries and rest here, I bet I could stay here taking in the sights until the stars come out.
いや、そんな場合じゃない。甲羅干しはまたの機会にしないと。
Winter break could work, but everything would be snowed in by then. We can have another camp out here next summer then. I think a picnic would make everyone happy.
来年か。気の長い話だな。
What'll even be left of this place by then? That's a different story. I grunt and stretch my back, then leisurely leave the cemetery. Okay, that event, not much happened there. Just kind of visited the cemetery behind the Ryudo Temple grounds. I suppose for like that area and the mountains over there. I don't know if there's a deeper significance to that kind of went over my head, or that was just kind of like a scene where it's just kind of Shiro, it's kind of peacefully thinking in nature about things like the future, you know, briefly. I don't know if it really was that simple or what, but it's past 9 p.m. after dinner. Dinner ended without any major incidents. Everyone returned to their own rooms. It's still too early to sleep, so how should I enjoy the rest of my time? Okay, so now we've also got go investigate the town at night, but we got a new option, it seems. We're going to try that by ourselves, but we're going to cross the bridge this time. Okay. I mean, let's cross that bridge. Let's cross the bridge. We've been doing all of the patrols. I feel like we can wait a little bit to see what happens when we when we like stay in, you know? Let's go ahead and cross that bridge. I crossed the bridge into Shinto. The walkway on the bridge is completely empty at this hour. There aren't any cars in the street tonight. I can clearly hear the wind blowing in from the sea. Saber, Tosaka, and I headed into Shinto together like this too. We didn't say anything to each other. I was anxious about where I was being taken, but I was also eager to embark on an adventure. But what about now? Anyone can see that something strange is happening to Fuyuki. As for what's strange specifically, maybe it's wrong of me. What was that giant, like, red glare up there? Like, it kind of reminds me of, like, I kind of immediately think to Tosaka on top of the building in Stay Night, but I don't know if that was intended to be, like, a reference to that or something similar, or what exactly that was. I don't know. As for what's strange specifically, maybe it's wrong of me, but I'm getting comfortable with this reenacted Holy Grail War. There's no reason to fight, so my life isn't in danger. While there might not be anyone to hate or any mastermind behind it all. What the hell? It happened in an instant. No, I probably never understood what happened. I lurch forward, bracing myself against a handrail. Blood spills out, taking my life with it. It's too late. This is a mortal wound that nearly killed me instantly. Subconsciously, my dying eyes catch sight of him. I was an idiot to think that I didn't need to fear death just because I don't have any reason to fight. Scornful eyes watch me collapse to the ground. My killer shot me with an arrow, without so much as a remark. It killed me before I had any chance to react. Then he looses a second arrow. Okay, so it was a callback on the top of that building. Now, what did he do that for? Dead bad end. Okay. Dead bridge. A sniper is blocking the path to Shinto. You'll need to defeat this enemy to keep solving the mystery. Okay. So I guess we need to start bringing Saber with us. That's what I'm getting out of this. Okay. I mean, we might as well keep going. For some reason, it seems like Archer just gadded us down. We're trying to cross that bridge. Why? Who knows? Who knows? Kind of interesting that they're like we have all these bad ends and they're kind of telling us like you need to be able to deal with them to not hit this bad end. It feels kind of like flowcharty. But let's just go ahead and jump right back in. So we've seen that. It's just the school at this point, right? There was another event here, I believe. Go to school. Yeah, we had another one with Fujimura. And then there's one with Shinji. And then that's everything on day
お
one,
はようご
right?
ざいます、藤村先生。
おはよう、みんな元気してる？
A casual greeting, unseemly for a teacher in the morning. Well, it's Fujini. It would be weird if she talked formally or something.
困らないんだけど、傾いてるのはちょっと。
何か困ってるの、シロ？
Fujini found me tilting my head. We're a teacher and student here, but homeroom hasn't even
い
started.
や、いつもの藤姉らしいなぁと。
むむむー。私が教師らしくないと言いたいわけね、エミヤくんは。
Don't say that.
それほどじゃないけど。あ、特に困ってることはないです、今は。
We always see each other, so we know too much about each other's problems. I guess you could say it'd be an ideal relationship for an instructor and pupil. Really though, you'd call us more like siblings.
むむ。シロももっと真剣にならないとダメじゃない。
I don't know why that sprite always just kills me. The little, like, balled up hands, just arms straight down at her sides. That sprite's unnecessarily funny to me.
なんか俺に会ったか？
だって卒業までもう遠くないのに、まだシロったらフラフラしてるじゃない。先生としては心配で。
She sounds like she's lamenting her lot in life, but there's no actual bitterness. I guess that sense of casualness is why other students seem comfortable approaching her with their troubles.
シロももっと担任の先生を信用して相談しなさい。
今晩の晩飯のこととか？
Yeah, unfortunately, you can't really approach her for advice about a lot of the other things going on in your life right now. You know, what are you going to be like? Hey, so there's this Holy Grail war. It's actually happening again. And I don't know, what are your thoughts on this?
お肉がいいな。こうね、ガッツにはね、やっぱりタンパク質と脂質よね。
This is what she's talking about first thing in the morning. And like a shadow, another makes his way past us.
おはようございます、久月先生。
おはようございます。
おはよう。
The strict ethics teacher, Mr. Kazuki, is here. Just as it's been said that Mr. Kazuki is looked up to more by the upperclassmen, I'm also starting to understand his charm as a third year.
藤村先生、今月の予定に関してですが、
文化祭の準備と中間試験ですね。あと定例の教職会議がいつになってました？
今日の夕刻です。3年の進路指導のこともあります。
わかりました。進路は大変ですね。でも久月先生は教え子さんたちに慕われてますから。
A serious work conversation is happening here. I can't help but rub my eyes to make sure I'm not dreaming.
いいえ、藤村先生ほど辛抱を集められてはおりません。
Popularity contest.
そんなことないですよ。ほら、エミヤくんがそんなことないって顔してますよ。
Don't drag me into the conversations, Fujini. But she can't fool around like her usual self in front of Mr. Kazuki.
久月先生は真剣に頼れる先生だと思います。
そうか。信頼に応えられるよう努力しよう。では。
It's interesting to see a little bit of Kazuki, because he shows up a tad bit, obviously, in Stay Night. But mostly his role is as Caster's master. And he has a little bit of a plot there, but just kind of seeing him, I don't know, in his element as a teacher is just kind of interesting. I feel like at some point we need to talk to him about the Grail War starting back up, right? That feels like that just kind of needs to happen. Mr. Kazuki heads off to his classroom. Once his lean figure disappears down the hallway, the tension leaves my body, and Fujini slaps my shoulder.
いやね、もうシロったらいい子ぶって。
そういう藤姉だっていきなり猫かぶるなよ。というか、
何よその言い方。まるで私がダメな子みたいじゃない。ダメな子？なんか女の子っぽい？
She really is emphasizing the girl part.
間違いなくな。ああ、 そんなダメな子に育てられたんだから、俺もダメな子なんだろうか。
Calling her a bad kid. That is crazy. It seems like we used up the time before homeroom period.
あ、時間だ。シローはダメな子じゃないわよ。さあ、教室に行きましょう。
おう、今日は時間に間に合うんだ。
そりゃ
She lets out a weird yell and starts running. Hey! That serious teacher from moments ago seems like a lie.
ほらほら、間に合わないと遅刻だぞ、エミヤくん。
ダメなことかそれ以前に、あまりにも正体不明すぎる。
She's an interesting figure for sure. But it was actually kind of cool to get to see the more serious side of her. Because, I mean, she's very frequently used as, you know, obviously the comedy relief. She's good at it. She's a funny character. I like when she's on screen. But it was cool to see, like, that she can have that serious mode and is obviously concerned about the kids' futures and, like, stuff like that. It was just kind of cool to see that more serious side of her. So I guess let's go ahead and move on to Shinji's event, since we put that one off. I didn't expect we'd be getting to that so quickly, honestly.
エミヤ、昼にしようぜ。
I don't know if something strange happened to him, but Shinji invited me to have lunch. It's sudden, but it happens a few times a year, so it's not that surprising.
いいけど、俺弁当だぞ。シンジは購買行ってパン買ってくるか。
購買か。いや、安っぽい惣菜パンって気分じゃないね。学食か。いっそ外まで食べに行かない？
By out, he must mean the Miyama shopping district. It sounds reckless, but we should be able to make it back by 5th period if we hurry.
たまにはいいかな。今日の弁当は俺が作ったもんだし、弁当は日頃のお礼を兼ねて後藤君にもらってもらえばいいし。
Goto about to get blessed.
お、珍しく話が早いじゃんか。よし、その素直さに免じて今日はとっておきの店を紹介してやるよ。バイト先の近くに美味しいパスタ屋を見つけてさ。
待った。シントまで行ってたら授業に間に合わないぞ。深山の商店街にしておこうぜ。
そんなのサボっちゃえばいいじゃん。単位足りてるだろ。
I'm not shocked. Shinji does not care. He pesters me like there's no time to waste. I have my reservations, but there's just something irresistible about the phrase, good pasta. Shinji, who's fussy about food, is going out of his way to bring this up. I might be able to discover a...
たわけ、自分だけでは飽き足らず、学友まで堕落させようとは。
Isai
潔
caught
果
your
てたぞ、
ass.
待とう。
Bro, he's yelling at him. Issei must have been eavesdropping on us as he swoops in on our conversation like an embodiment of justice.
なんだよ、竜斗。僕たちがどこで昼食を取るかなんてお前に関係ないだろ。部外者はダメ。関係はある。学友が悪友にいいようにたぶらかされ、そこを乱そうとしているのだ。注意をするのは当然だろう。
That's a crazy way to describe it, but I guess it's not wrong. He really was about to be seduced by that good pasta.
大体だな。エミヤと約束をしたのはこちらが先なのだ。そうだろ、エミヤ。
悪い、覚えがないけど。
I think he was trying to extend like a branch there. Though, if Issei says so, it must be true. Lately, I can't remember things clearly. We must have made plans at the student council room in the morning. But I really don't remember anything.
空見たことか。まったく。どうせ断られるだろうと黙って聞いていれば、強引なこと甚だしい。さあ行くぞ、エミヤ。今日はとっておきの茶葉を出そう。信徒の炒めし屋など比較にならん。
He pulls my arm and starts to drag me to the student council room.
はあ？何言ってんだかね。
Get a load of this guy.
どうせ暇なら生徒会室に来いっていつものやつだろ。そんなの約束でもなんでもないよ。いや、むしろ命令に近いんじゃない？予定がないときは生徒会室で昼食をとることなんて学則いつ作ったのさ、生徒会長様は。
Heartbreaking. The worst person you know just made a good point.
そんな学則など誰が作るか。生徒会室での昼食は合意の上だ。 エミヤからも言ってやれ。今朝もきちんと約束をしたと。
Bro does not remember them.
したっけ今朝？
した。ホームルームの終わりに目があったじゃないか。その後に俺が咳払いをすれば生徒会室、エミヤが咳払いをすれば教室という決まりだろうに。
What? We're fibbing. We're just making shit up. He shakes his head. Sorry. Sorry. I didn't realize we had such a rule for 3 years. I thought that he sometimes coughs unnaturally, but I see. So that's how he decided our meeting spot.
あのさ、前からちょっと思ってたけど、竜道って紙一重。
Square.
失礼だ。たやすく突破しているお前に言われたくはないぞ。
I mean, I don't think it's unfair to call him a square, but that's crazy. Sparks fly from both sides. It's not showy, but it's still a tense battle. I even want to open my lunch and enjoy the show, but then I would be the only one that would get full.
もしもし、二人とも。昼休みもそう長くないんで、決着は後にしてくれ。要するに、3人で学食行けばいいんだろ？シンジは外食を諦めて、一星は生徒会室を諦める。それで釣り合いは取れるよな。
Now they both lose.
お断りだね。外に食べに行くったら食べに行くんだよ。ほら、おごってやるから行こうぜ、エミヤ。終わったらそのまま街に繰り出そう。今日さ、ちょうど西高の女の子と合コンの予定が。
Of course you do.
わからんやつだな、マト。エミヤを悪の道に巻き込むなと言っているんだ。そんなに洋食が好きなら、西欧にでも永住してしまえ。あとエミヤを合コンに誘うな。
Said, if you like Western food that much, just move to Western Europe forever. Do not take Emiya with you. Bro wants him gone. It seems like my compromise won't work either. It seems like neither of them will budge even a micron to eat lunch with the other.
ああ、いい。好きにしろ。俺、学食で食べてくるから。
待て、エミヤ。それではあまりにも情がない。ここはきっぱりと決断を下すのが、どちらかを切り捨てるのは主義に反するだろうが、今は鉄の誠意を見せるべきだ。同感だね。竜道と意見が合うなんて吐きそうだけど、全く同感だね。
He said, I truly despise the fact that I agree with him, but...
ほら、さっさと教えてやれよ、エミヤ。一人で寂しく昼食を取るのはどっちかってことをさ。
Bro, what?
じゃあ、一世。
Yo, what the fuck?
なんでシントのパスタ屋だ
Yo!
よ。
What was that? Yo! What the fuck was that? What was that sprite? Why did they do that to his face? What in the world was that?
その後に合コンだよ。僕から見てもイケてる女の子たちと夢の3時間だよ。こっちのが楽しいに決まってんじゃん。うわ、エミはマジわかんねえ。パスタ屋には興味があるし、合コンは苦手だけど割と好きだ。だけど最大の問題はだな。
I point at the class schedule. Yes, 5th period is our Fujini's class.
そうだな。少々残念ではあるが、実に学生らしい理由だ。エミヤはそうでなくてはならん。
Bro said, I'm gonna get beat if I skip her class.
そういうわけだから、シンジもやめとけよ。生徒会室で一緒に飯食おうぜ。惣菜パンが嫌なら弁当を分けてやるから。
うん。その必要はあるまい。あれほどの単価を切ったのだ。よもや校内で食事を取ろうとは思うまいよ。
You're not wrong.
なあ、そうだろう、マット。
Bro, so smug.
その通りだよ、竜道。頼まれたって生徒会室になんか行くもんか。いいさーだ。
お前たちはいつも通り低俗で平凡な昼休みを過ごせばいい。けど勘違いするなよ。本当の勝者は誰なのかすぐに思い知らせてやる。
They really made sure to make him look incredibly pathetic, huh? Oh no, they made Shinji look pathetic. But that's crazy. Shinji laughs as if he's crying and leaves. Oh man. I can't really tell myself, but I wonder if there was something wrong with my actions and words.
なあ、一世。今の俺が悪かったのかな。
うん、そうだな。マトウに同情はしないが、もう少し言葉を選んでくれ、エミヤ。俺がマトウだったら間違いなく自決。
What? You would have what? I don't get Issei either. Well, he's saying he won't sympathize with Shinji. He has his hands together giving a silent prayer at Shinji's desk. What the fuck did I just witness? What? Okay. That event was crazy. I don't know what else to say to that. That was insane. Lunch break ends and the bell rings. We finish eating our lunch at the student council room, and Issei and I get ready for the bell that signals classes start in 5 minutes. Shinji is nowhere to be seen, so it seems like he hasn't returned since then. What was that?
こうなるとマトウに悪いことをしたな。特に今日のマグロカツは素晴らしかった。一切れぐらいは奴に味合わせてやっても。
Like, why are people screaming? Issei's not the only one who realized the abnormality. Everyone in the classroom is frowning and looking at the hallway, wondering what's going on. A circus-like clamor approaches. The ones moving through the hallway are Shinji and a bunch of first-year girls who seem to be surrounding him. All of them are holding their lunch and feeding Shinji while walking. Issei stands motionless, stunned. Shinji stops ostentatiously for a moment.
おや、そこにいるのは男だけで昼食をとる寂しい二人組じゃないか。
I was not stressed about that tuna, man.
どうかな？今日の昼食もどうしようもなく惨めだったかな？女の子の歓声はなかったかな？キャー、シンジ様素敵！あーんとかしてもらえなかったかな？
Dude, what the fuck is this event? Issei's shoulders are shaking violently. Shinji's good mood is at its peak right now.
僕は最高さ。もう言語に絶するほど楽しかったね。残念だな。君たちにもこの楽しさを分けてあげたかったよ。おのれ、本当に分かりやすいやつだな、貴様は。うわ、逃げようみんな。あそこにいるのはジジブサイ生徒会長だ。捕まったらセンスゼロのドレスコードを強制されるからね。
The Shinji daytime circus runs away down the hallway cheerfully. The way they run off almost seems rehearsed.
逃がすかまとう。エビア、藤村先生にはホムラハラの三大仏敵を始末してくると告げておいてくれ。
One of the three great monsters. Issei jumps out into the hallway with incredible speed. Even then, he doesn't run in the hallway as expected of the student council president. Bro is speed walking. That's a walk that surpasses running.
痛み分けだ。
The 5th period bell rings. There's 4 more months until graduation from today. Issei Ryudo missed class for the first time. Bro got baited. Come on, Issei. It's funny how they, like, actually make, they've actually, so far, at least just that scene right there, I'm like, Shinji was actually kind of entertaining. I can't lie. It was actually pretty funny, right? Like, that doesn't make him any more of a likable character. given what we know about him and his story. And his, like, backstory, not even just in route actions. Things that happened before Stay Night, right? Like, you know, like, they're just canon, you know? Like, we're not forgiving you, bro. But I'll admit that was kind of funny. Let's head home. It's past 9 p.m. after dinner. Dinner ended without any major incidents, and everyone returned to their own rooms. It's still too early to sleep, so how should I enjoy the rest of my time? So let's not investigate the town at night. I guess let's see what happens if we just go to sleep. I mean, does it just... It probably just skips it, right? My guess is it's just going to skip it, but... I guess it's not going to kill us to hit go to sleep for today. If it skips once, we're fine, you know? Yeah, okay. That's just the skip option. I figured, but just wanted to be 100% sure. So, where do we have something going on? We've seen this. We did the school event. I don't even know if there are any events that we haven't seen yet. Doesn't really look like it, so let's just go to afternoon, I guess. Okay, so we've still got that soccer event. So let's just do that. This is when we did the event back here, right? Countless Tribute Warriors. So it was maybe... I don't know if that is like intentionally there's just not a character, and so that's the background, if it's just kind of like a Shiro like solo thing, or if there's like a character we haven't met yet or something that like this event will be different later once we meet them. I don't know. But let's go hang out with Sakura, and then we'll see what happens if we stay in the house at night. As I try stopping by the Mato house on a whim, I make eye contact with Sakura, who's looking around in front of the entrance.
先輩だ。うちに何か用ですか？
いや、たまたま通りかかったんだ。そういう桜こそどうしたんだ？家の鍵でもなく。
大丈夫ですよ。いくら渡してもそう頻繁になくしたりしません。それにですね、なくしても一人で開けられるからへっちゃらなんです。
Oh, the Mato house set up a self-locking door. It must be a thing called a magecraft lock, which is the same as the one at Tosaka's. It's been getting dangerous out again, so that is fantastic, but...
なあ、それ、シンジはどうするんだ？
どうするって、兄さんなら鍵持ってますよ。玄関のと、今のと、トイレのと、自分の部屋の。
To sum it up, if Shinji loses his keys, then he'll end up in the streets. It seems like there are locks on all the doors in the mansion. What a strict way to run a household. Also, I probably wouldn't be able to go inside either. When I go hang out at the Mato house, I need to make sure I don't get separated from Sakura.
最近シンジのキーホルダーが監修みたいになってたのはそういうことか。で、鍵をなくしたわけでもなく、鍵なんか必要ない桜は玄関で何してるんだ？
おじい様がお客様が来るから玄関で待っていなさいって。なんでも遠方からのお客様で本当は塩をかけて追い返したいんですけど、立場上もてなしてあげなくてはいけないのだとか。
Okay.
複雑そうだな。造犬のじいさんの客か？
I mean, I kind of assume so.
それが本来なら姉さんのところにやってくるお客様なんだそうです。でも姉さんは留守にしているから代理としておじい様に挨拶をしに来るとか。
I see. So it must be someone from the Mages Association or the church making their rounds.
そりゃ邪魔したな。変な因縁つけられる前に帰るよ。
助かります。姉さん、先輩を教会の人にも見せちゃダメだってよく言うんです。あいつ保護指定動物だからって。 とかなんとか。
Protected animal is kind of a crazy description, but I want to denounce her next time, asking her who's the one who's abusing that protected animal.
じゃあ一足先にうちに戻ってる。遅くなるようだったら電話してくれ。迎えに来るから。
はい、必ずお電話しますね。
I wave and leave the Mato house. It's just my curious spirit, but maybe I'll ask just a bit more about them.
なあ、さくら。お客様ってどんな人なんだ？
新しく派遣された監督さんだって話です。
Yeah, you really don't want to be here when they get here.
正式な辞令が下りたら、教会の司祭代理として引っ越してくるかもしれないっておじい様が。
So that means old Diello? Old Diello would go back to his home country. I guess that's the current overseer? Well, it's weird to think that someone who's a bishop as their main occupation would take up a new post at a church in a regional city. So that must be why a priest, who's better suited for a regional city, is coming.
さくら、じいさんがいなくなるの寂しくないか？あの人、さくらを可愛がってくれてたけど。
そうですね。けど、後任が決まるまでの間って聞いてましたから。
I see. Old Diello was someone who originally came from the post-survey of the Holy Grail War. He must not stay for long without any special reason. My intellectual curiosity is satisfied, so I actually leave the Mato house this time. But now, why do they have Sakura drawn like that? After that, the visitor never came after all, and Sakura was waiting in vain for half a day. Poor Sakura. Man, what? It's past 9 p.m. after dinner. I got an achievement saying I got a flag for that, by the way. I need to turn my achievements off. I actually don't really like having achievements on when I record. Dinner ended without any major incidents, and everyone returned to their own rooms. It's still too early to sleep, so how should I enjoy the rest of my time? Alright, we're gonna spend time at the Emiya house this time. Okay. We got two different options. And Saber's gonna get ignored. Sorry, Saber. I see that exclamation mark. You can't fool me. I know what that means. And I just want to see what's in the shed in the meantime. I walk to the shed. There isn't anything I need to fix urgently. I just feel like going there. I sit cross-legged on the usual sheet and look aimlessly around the room.
さて。
Before we move on, I don't know why I didn't really mention this, but it seems to me that Diello, whatever their name was the replacement for Kirei. And that Kirei is like just dead, right? I think they said as much, right? That he's like canonically dead. So I'm guessing Diello was just the replacement, and they're now having like a new official replacement. Like, Diello was just the temporary guy. Excuse me. So that was my read on the scene. It's kind of interesting. I guess I hadn't really thought about too much about the fact that an overseer will need to replace, or needs to show up to replace Kirei's now vacant post. But I guess we're gonna have someone, and maybe it's gonna be someone we like actually get to see. Given that apparently it gave me some kind of flag to see that scene and know about the overseer, so maybe it's somebody we'll get to meet later. Anyways, let's see what he's doing in the shed. It's been long enough. I can't really think of anything to do, so I'll go back to my room and sleep. But why did I come to the shed at night? Okay, that was just a nothing burger. Got it. Memories with Sakura. We've already done that scene. Something new at the school. It looks like that is it. So, let's go there. Oh, goodness, I forgot her name too. So today's club is the track and field club. I didn't have any relation to the sports ground when I was in the Kyudo club, so I don't really know how they're using it.
陸上部の練習ってあんなにハードだったっけ？
The first years cry out while they run like lemmings. The carnivorous beast chasing them off is... what's to say?
次400を6本走れ走れ走れしね
Okay, Makidera, you can calm down a little bit.
そこ遅れるぐらいなら前のやつを倒せ負けこれすなわちスプリンターとしての死と心得るべし
She's moderately serious about this. The self-proclaimed Black Panther, the girl that was born just to run, Kaede Makidera.
なんだ。本当に部活には熱心なんだな、マキデラ。
I see that. That aside, doesn't knocking down the runner in front of you also mean death as a sprinter too?
おや誰かと思えばエミや何がし
Why, hello.
見学か
There's glasses, girl. When I turn around, I see Himuro standing there. Himuro. I gotta try to remember these names. It didn't pop up very often in Fate Stay Night, so most of them kind of like, just, you know, in one, out the other, like here, type deal. But Himuro is a high jump athlete, so she must not be in the sprinter group.
よ、邪魔してるぞ。ただの通りすがりだけど、気がついたら見学してた。
見学は喜ばしいが見て面白いものでもいや面白いかあれは傍から見ている分には愉快な女だ
She said, no, I can actually see why you'd watch the sprinting. Totally. Our hearts are one under the Black Panther.
しかし、マキデラはともかくとして、ヒムロは走ったりしないのか？走り高跳びだって走り込みぐらいはするだろう。
私は軽く済ませた調整時期でね今の時期あそこまでは走り込まない
そうか。しかし、あっちはとんでもない練習量だな。1年生死にそうなんだけど。
She seems like the type to
マ
run
キデラ
them.
ってスパルタ？
She seems like the type to run them until they puke. The first years that finish running the track look like they're about to pass out. They're jogging right now, but their steps are wobbly and uncertain. Yet, Makidera in the back is threatening the first years that haven't trained enough, having them go round and around.
インターバルはあんなものだ60秒を切らねば意味がないもっとも楓は根性論者だからなあれは1年をギリギリまで追い詰める魂胆だろう限界まで追い込んで絶望させるというのがあれの指導方針だ
Funny seeing that word, the actual day after I finished replaying the final chapter of the first Danganronpa game.
スパルタというより S の方だったか。
Yeah, that is pretty sadistic, let's be honest. Makidera seems like evil, bro. No wonder she throws hands before words. That wild animal fundamentally likes to use violence.
今年の1年は気の毒だな。あんなの、俺だって値を上げるぞ。
そんなことはないだろうスピードを維持できるかは保証できないがあの運動量ではエミヤを根負けさせることはできないさ
I don't know what she's basing that conclusion off of, but Himuro casually appraises my stamina. Kane Himuro, who is an ordinary person, but not ordinary, and has a personality that has more to it than meets the eye, suddenly...
で先ほどの話なのだがマキデラはサディスティックではなくむしろマゾヒスティックだと思うぞ私は
You think? I think she's the exact opposite. She doesn't love inflicting pain, she likes receiving pain. I'm the one whose tongue slipped. But what is this person saying out of nowhere?
マキちゃんって変態さんなの
She just shows up for that. Passing by with bad timing is Yukika Saigusa, the manager, unable to hide her surprise at her friend's secret.
かなりその気はご苦労様ユキカ
She did not want her to hear that.
三枝先輩こっちもお願いしあうんごめんねすぐ行くね
Saigusa crosses the track while carrying a basket full of water bottles.
待った。手伝うぞ、私も。
俺も。
いいんですエミヤくん。これくらい大丈夫ですから。
Oh. Well, Himuro's with her, so I guess it's fine. Besides, the track members would also get surprised if an outsider brought them water bottles.
よーし、各自ダウンして水取れよ。今のシーズン抜きがちだからな。気ぃつけろよ、よっこども。で、昼終わったらミーティングな。1へ集合。遅れたら遅れた秒数だけダッシュ追加でよろしく。さあ、イエスです。
She's, quite harsh. The first years, who repeated sprinting and jogging over and over again, cry as they leave. She's relentless. If you did that much, you'd build stamina, whether you liked it or not.
お疲れ様マキちゃん。はいこれ。
おうおう、いつも精が出るね、ゆきっち。ヒムロは調整はどうだい？
悪くはない。
She jogs lightly with a water bottle in one hand and passes by in front of me. Her gaze crosses over me. I wonder if she thinks a rare visitor is here.
なんだ、エミヤじゃん。何してるの？
何って。見ての通り見学だよ。
暇なんだな。
That's fair. I can't say I was randomly watching sports practices in my school. For real. What was supposed to be a patrol for the sake of looking for abnormalities in the town has become a stroll to find the good things in the town. This is also because I couldn't find any abnormalities at all.
じゃあそこの暇人、やることないなら我が部の役に立つのはどうや。
また何か壊したのか？
壊してない。先週鉄砲おかしくしただけ。
Sounds like you broke something. That's what you call break, but leaving that aside.
その鉄砲以外で何かあるのか？
ハードルの調整で渋いのが増えてきてさ。エミヤならちょっと直せるだろ。交渉次第でそれなりに報酬やるからさ。ちょっと考えてみて。
At least she's open to negotiation.
いいぞ。それぐらいお安い御用だ。
早っ、あと安っ。
And cheap.
なんだよ、やけにあっさり引き受けるじゃんか。私、エミヤのそういうところ信用なんないっつうかさ。
That's just how Shiro is.
なら断ろうか？
Bro needs to put up a fight.
別にやってくれるならやってよ。いいよ、便利だから。
助かるな、エミヤ。礼を言わない楓に代わって礼を言おう。
エミヤくんにお世話になるから、お昼一緒に食べませんか？
何誘ってんだよ、ゆきっち。いいよ、そんなの。エミヤはただがいいって言ってるんだ。いいか、そいつは無償奉仕大好き族と言って気を使われると逆に死んでしまうんだ。
The Loves Community Service Tribe. I don't even think that's an inaccurate description for Shiro. What kind of creature is that?
でもエミヤくんにそんなことお願いしちゃ悪くないかな。
エミヤ次第だな。まあその様子では昼の持ち合わせがあるようには見えないな。
ああ、昼はどこかで適当に食べようと思ってた。
Saigusa's face lights up. I can't find any reason to decline if she makes a face like that.
部のみんなの分のお弁当があったんですけど、休みの子がいてちょっと余っちゃったんですよ。エミヤくん、助けると思って食べてくれませんか？
オッケー。そういうことならありがたくごちそうになる。
Bro said, if I must. I can also think of this as my compensation. If I get treated to lunch, then my motivation to repair the hurdles will also go up.
エミヤになんか食わせることないって。ブーブー。
No need to make him eat it. Yeah.
牧の字なら昼は2人前まで、夜3人前までは平気だからな。
平気じゃねえよ。どこの日本妖怪だよそれ。
We're dissing, bro. I swallowed the truth that, while I can't imagine her actually eating that much, there are competitive eaters in the West who probably could.
いただきまーす。
Lunch begins. There must be no afternoon practices, as the three of them change before eating. Inside, the aluminum foil are sandwiches of marinated salmon and a thick baguette. They said lunch, so I was expecting rice with colorful side dishes, but the content was rather light. It's true that you can't eat fried things after exercising that intensely. It's a well-thought-out lunch, just what you'd expect from a manager.
どうぞ。粗末なものですが。
粗末なもんか。ありがたやありがたや。でもエミヤはな、聞くところによると美食家らしいからな。
I don't know if foodie is the description, but like the way I'd describe him, but...
2年の魔道女が2日に1度の割合で重箱弁当を届けているという噂がある。
Well, that one probably is basically true. Since when has such a rumor started going around? And not completely true, but she does bring him lunch. Even though this is about myself, it sounds like quite a privileged lunch situation hearing it from other people.
重箱ですごいな、マトウさん。私そんなに作れないな。
そんなわけで舌が肥えてるし、確かエミヤも料理するんだろ。
That is true.
気をつけろよユキカ。お昼次第ではおかみを呼べとかユキカに迫ってくるかもしれないぞ。
What?
それはどこの文人の食通だ、牧野氏。
Jeez, if I'm privileged, then the track club is also privileged. How could there be any complaints with this lunch? Saigusa's lunch may be plain, but is thoughtfully made with the people who will eat it in mind. Even for Tosaka, who splurges on things, I'm sure she would be moved by Saigusa's consideration.
よしよし、ユキッチ、そうなったら私が究極のメニュー対決で応援してやるからな。
The ultimate menu showdown?
何？京極の旦那さえ抑えておけば大体勝ちさ。
We win who over?
私は面目ない。料理では役に立てない。
We've all got our strengths.
でもエミヤくんは美味しそうに食べてくれるから大丈夫だよ。
I look up, hearing my name.
あれ、行儀悪かったか。
そうじゃない。エミヤがいい笑顔で食べてくれるので嬉しいとユキカは言いたいのだ。
いい笑顔って、そりゃ美味しいものを食べてたら自然と頬が落ちるだろう。
よかった。あ、ヨーグルトもありますからどうぞ。
エミヤのお眼鏡にかなってよかったな、ユキカ。
Yeah, I suppose. I don't think his standards are nearly as strict as you think they are, but I mean, like he said, for him the presentation matters a lot. Or not presentation,
魔道
but the
女の
thought.
弁当よりエミヤの弁当というのも興味あるな。
エミヤの弁当ね。でもエミヤが弁当を食べてるとこ見たことないぞ、私。
生徒会室で竜道くんと一緒にいるんですよね。
寺の子の食事は肉分が少ないからな。さしずめ、エミヤは生徒会長にとって救いの天使というところだろう。
うわ、何そのフレーズ。何がびっくりってはずいフレーズなのに全く違和感ねえのがすげえ。
I don't think it is either. I don't actually remember, but it's a bit sad that I can't argue back. But Issei is a growing boy. With a lunch of only greens, he'll faint from being out of fuel and having a duel with his mortal enemy, Tosaka.
で、その竜道に与える弁当はうまいのか？生徒会長が癖になるほどスペシャルなのか？うちのユキッチが一勝したりいっぱいしたりを繰り返すほどアルティミットなのか？
Where's the ultimate chef? That's actually a diss if you played Danganronpa.
味はそれなりだと自負してるがな。俺のは基本的に余り物だからスペシャルなんてもんじゃないぞ。
I don't know that I'd say that.
だいたい男の弁当が女の子の弁当に勝てるわけないだろう。
That seems like something Shiro would say for sure. It's not about how presentable it is, but how the existential value itself is completely different. What?
そうかな。男の子ってあんまりお弁当を作らないからエミヤくんはやっぱり特別だと思うけど。
希少価値で言えばそうだよな。でも食べるのがエミヤと竜道だけじゃな。 陸上部みんなのアイドル、我らがユキッチの敵じゃないっつうか。
Sounds like we've got a competition to host.
いや、エミヤの昼食なら遠坂城も食べているはずだ。
Alright. Like, you can stop egging this on, bro. Like,
前にエミヤの弁当箱を机に入れていたのを見たことがある。
I almost choke on a piece of my baguette. Kanehimuro cannot be underestimated, and Rin Tosaka isn't careful enough. I don't mind making her lunch, but I told her to properly hide it.
なんだと
Bro, that smug ass grin. She knew exactly what button she was pushing, bro. This girl is evil.
遠坂のやつ、そんなところまでエミヤに許してるっていうのか。あいついくら楽するのが好きだからってそんなことまで。なんだよ、それじゃあエミヤと遠坂付き合ってるみたいじゃんかよ。
You know, if you ask me which route is my... I'm not gonna say canon route, but, you know, I guess my favorite ending. It might involve that. I'm just saying.
牧野氏、みたいではなく付き合っているのではないかね、この二人は。
認めねえ。あの高慢チキでゴーつくばりな女にこんな海外しヘルパーつくもんか。
Why does everyone in this school hate Rin so much?
遠坂みたいな女に友達はできん。いたとしても利用する気満々の年ぐらいだ。
しかしだな、現実問題として遠坂城は週に2回はエミヤ印の弁当箱を持ってくるのだが。
Bro, I mean, she's well researched. She's researched on the matter.
それならエミヤを色仕掛けとかでダメにするの。言うなればくそー、なんて言ったっけな、そういうの。
Wait, why the... She's hitting the speed face back there. Why are you trying not to laugh, bro? No, she actually... I don't know, she seems, I guess, kind of happy with the idea. Now, she is not. She is not. She's just instigating. She's just an instigator.
はい、ユキッチ。
私多分骨抜きじゃないかな。
それだ。100人から先は覚えていない。
I love how she's like, what the hell are they talking about?
よし。ほら、エミヤくん。あげたくないけど、ここに私のヨーグルトもあるよ。食べれ。
いいよ。さっき三枝さんからもらったから。
私の魅力ではなびかるというのか。いいじゃんよ。プルーンだよ。あんま美味しくないけど食べてくれよ。
This trio is an interesting one, and we're getting to see a lot more of them this game so far, it seems.
ダメだよ、マキちゃん。そんなせかしちゃ。
You don't have the charm.
ユキか、牧寺の心境も少しは察してやれ。哀れな。
Something must have pushed Makidera's buttons. Well, Himuro must be the one who pushed them, but it seems like all the damage will fall onto me. It's time for me to leave soon. They treated me to lunch, so I should return the favor soon.
じゃ、俺はそろそろ失礼するよ。三枝、どうもな。サーモンとパン、どっちも美味しかったぜ。
はい、お粗末様です。
牧野氏の遠坂絡みのことは気に病むな、エミヤ。
I don't think he was going to.
やっぱり目障りだ、エミヤ。
God damn. He's pissed. Now, I should roll up my sleeves and get to work. I need to go get lubricant spray and grease from the toolbox in the storage room for repairing the hurdles. Okay, nothing at the school, it looks like. We had that. Well, let's see what's going on at the church. Actually, who would we see at the church? Kind of curious. I feel like we really haven't seen that much Mitsuzuri. I feel like she's got to have more events at some point. Let's see what's going on at the church. Oh. I spotted a delinquent heroic spirit squatting in front of the church.
何してるんだ、ランサー。もしかして日向ぼっこか。
Again, he has two events on the same screen.
な趣味はねえよ。追い出されたから花壇に水やって、道に水まいてやることがなくなったからほうけてたんじゃねえか。
Bro just watered everything. That's what society calls sunbathing. I don't know that I mean, like, I guess it's sort of sunbathing, but his way of sunbathing might be on the level of being cooked on the beach like an iron griddle. He's tan enough to beat Archer. Anyway.
追い出されたってなんでさ。なんか誰かいるのか。
ああ、誰か来た。ただの客か、琴峰の後釜か。やぼったい僧侶の格好していたからな。教会の人間なのは間違いないんだろうが。
So I was about to say, I wonder if it's the successor. The overseer.
教会の人間。そいつがあんたを追い出したのか？
そうだよ。調べ物があるんでしばらく席を外してくれと。なんでか苦手なタイプでな。ま、ほっとけばすぐに帰るだろうから。こうして暇つぶししてんのよ。
You might need to help him kill some time. Lancer grumbles in dissatisfaction, but it's unexpected. To think that there's someone that this man isn't good with, despite talking to Saber or Ryder familiarly.
ランサー、中入っていいのかな？
いいんじゃねえか。俺は門番を任されたわけじゃねえし。
Lancer's apathetic. He must have gotten tired of sunbathing. I waved to Lancer, who starts to water with the watering can in one hand, and opened the door of the church. I guess we might get to see the new overseer. There's no one in the chapel. The priest that welcomed me here half a year ago is still missing since that battle.
なんだよ。誰もいないじゃないか。
So, okay, so they didn't say anything about him being dead, just missing, but... Okay, sorry for the sudden jump cut. Brother just came home from a trip. So, it was just catching up a little bit, which, I mean, was more important than the video. I'm not gonna lie. But, you know, sudden jump cut, so just wanted to let you know. I look around the courtyard, the stairs leading to the basement, the stairs leading to the second floor, and Kodamine's room, but the church is completely empty.
ランサー、誰もいないぞ。裏手から帰ったんじゃ。
Lancer is also gone. He must have noticed the futility of devoting oneself to watering and gone back to the park in front of the station. The watering can has been left in the square. This is also experience. I'll water the flowers with the water left in the watering can and also leave the church. What the heck? Fired the Lancer/Overseer flag. What the heck? Okay, what is going on there? That's weird. I mean, we've had this Overseer who's supposed to show up twice now, once with Sakura, and they completely no-showed. And then now with Lancer, who said they're there, and then when we go to look, we can't find this Overseer anywhere. Like, is this human real? It's past 9 p.m. after dinner. Dinner ended without any major incidents, and everyone returned to their own rooms. It's still too early to sleep, so how should I enjoy the rest of my time? We'll spend time with Emiya House, and this time we are going to interact with Saber, which will presumably progress the story. Awakening Future. Like, does that mean that this is an event that is meant to be seen later? I'm a little confused on the ones that don't have an icon on them. Like, I mean, again, like, this was also like a solo Shiro event, so maybe it really is just that. They were also so brief that I wonder if there was supposed to be like another character that shows up and turns it into an actually like into a bigger event, if that makes sense. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if like Archer's supposed to show up there, for example. I don't know. Let's just interact with Saber for now. As for my business with Saber, about the Holy Grail War. I don't really feel like it, but I should at least ask once. What does Saber think of the resumed Holy Grail War? I remind myself to stay as level-headed as possible and call to her beyond the sliding door.
今の状況をどう思っているかですか？
まあ、こうやって面と向かって話してなかったからな。一度は聞いておこうと思って。
それは構わないのですが、果たして私の話で手がかりがつかめるものか。
力にならなくてもいいよ。今日はセイバーの話を聞きに来ただけなんだ。参考意見じゃなくて、普通にセイバーの考えを知っておこうと思って。
ああ、私の考えですか？
そう。今後の方針とか、誰が怪しいとか、セイバーが今の状況をどう思っていて、どこがおかしくて、これからどうしたいのかを聞かせてほしい。
The Overseer is really strange to me so far. It's quiet for a moment. Saber seems to be organizing her thoughts without thinking too deeply. I start to feel anxious during the pause. I wonder if she'll say something I didn't even realize.
そうですね。なぜ聖杯戦争が再開されたのか。ですが、戦いが再び始まったのなら、勝利しなければならない。
Okay.
私のマスターに敗北は許しませんから。
Yeah, that's a respectable answer.
なんか懐かしいセリフだな。
It sounds about right.
はい。意識して使ってみました。シローが必ず勝利できるよう、願をかけてみたのです。
Really? I'd say that just now felt more like a pep talk than a wish. From a bystander's point of view, it might have even seemed like a threat.
私の考えはそれだけです。騒ぎが起きないうちはこうして過ごし、何者かが牙を剥くのなら、これを撃つ。
Alright, Saber, I have someone we might need to strike down.
私たちサーバント自体が災いであるのなら、その災いをもって敵に思い知らせるのです。シローが言ってくれた通り、当然のように皆を守る力であるために。
I kind of love this description, right? Like, if we servants are calamities by nature, I will bring disaster down on our enemies. Like, I kind of love that. Just as a line. So that's what Saber thinks. She wants to protect our life together, like I do. I'm incredibly happy to hear that, but a fundamental question still springs to mind.
俺もその方針でいいと思う。けどセイバー、今の状況正しいと思うか？
それは言うまでもないことではないでしょうか。聖杯戦争が再開された以上、予断を許さない状況ですし。
そうだな。半年前みたいに全員がやる気になったら大変だ。まあ、目的がないんだから誰も競争なんてしないんだけど。
Still, I wanted to hear Saber's clear view on right and wrong.
そうですね。聖杯は私たちが破壊した。それだけは正しいと言い切れる。最後の夜、あなたと二人で長い石段を登ったことを私は忘れません。
まあ、その後は離れ離れになっちまったけど、最後には合流できたんだっけ？
I think.
お互い相手には苦労したと思うけど。
ええ。私は英雄王を、シローは神父を。その後、私は。
Yeah, this is about what I expected.
リン・レージュで聖杯を破壊した。
He said, I'm a little rusty, but this is the fate route, right? Like that she's implying. Because Unlimited Blade Works, right? Like, there was a fight with Gilgamesh, but Shiro partook in that, you know? And then in the Fate route, obviously, or not the Fate route, Heaven's Feel, obviously, you know, Saber wouldn't have been there. You know, that conclusion was very different. So this is definitely like the Fate route is what is being described the way I see it. Or at least mostly. If there's some discrepancies, like I could be missing that, but bare minimum, it's not Heaven's Feel, and I'm almost positive this is not Unlimited Blade Works, like being referenced. That's how the war was settled half a year ago. I fought alongside Saber during her time in Fuyuki. It's probably the only way things could have ended.
シロ、どうしたのです。不思議そうな顔をして。聖杯がなければ、サーバント同士では戦わない。
いや、基本的には正しいと思う。まあ、他の連中に探りを入れて危険かどうか判断しなくちゃいけないけどね。
I've confirmed what Saber thinks. Now I just need to do the same for the other servants as soon as I can.
シロ、どうしました？トイレですか？
いや、話も聞けたし、今夜は早めに戻って休むよ。時間を取らせてすまなかった。
あ、はい。おやすみなさい、シロ。時間的にはまだ余裕がありますが、確かに疲れているようですし。
ああ。セイバーもおやすみ。
Is he not feeling well? Not realizing it? Like, Saber seemed to think something was up. I don't know. With like, do you need to use the toilet? You know, like, I guess maybe that was just like she could tell he was like about to leave the conversation. I don't know. We exchange our farewells, and I close the door. It's dark outside. I gaze up at the ominously shaped moon through my window.
いや、いろいろと都合のいい話をどうも。
Absently, I speak as if I'm inviting the moon here. I didn't learn anything new, but the time spent was worth it. Now, I'll go back to my room and sleep. Fired the Saber's answer flag. Day 4, so we'll see soon if this changes something up, right? Going to town. Oh, we got something at the Ryudo Temple. We definitely did that event already. There's something... They won't even let me cross the bridge. Nope, they will. It was just being finicky. Okay. Head to the Ryudo Temple. See what's up with Castor. I arrive at the mountain gate of Ryudo Temple. After climbing the long stone stairs.
おはようございます。
I come across someone sweeping the base of the gate. I'd understand if it was one of the monks, but it's Castor. Her hood is off. How sketchy. What is she up to, sweeping in broad daylight? Well, that's good, right?
あら、坊やじゃない。今日は何の用なの？
Because if you listen to Sasuke Kojiro, he told you if that hood is up, do not interact with Castor. That's what he told us, so... You know, I guess it's a good thing that hood is not up.
掃除するんだな、あんたも。
I couldn't contain my surprise. Bro, she's pissed that you would assume she doesn't, I guess. But maybe it isn't that surprising. She lives here, after all.
ええ、境内から少しきれいにしておこうと思ってね。何か文句があるの？
その格好で掃除をしているのは、いや、いいのか。
You could wear something else, like your casual clothes. That would look normal enough. Right now she's giving off the vibes of a temple family member doing chores.
何か文句があって？
いや、そういえばここには門番がいるんじゃないのか？あいつに掃除をさせるとか。
She seems to act... Her sprites are a lot different when she doesn't have that hood up. I'm starting to see what Sasuke was saying, bro. Castor heaves an exaggerated sigh.
あの男にそんな海外しさがあれば、こんな苦労はしていません。
暇そうなのに。
ええ、暇ですとも。なら掃除くらいはしなさいと何度も言っているのですけどね。あのただ飯ぐらい口だけは達者なんだから。
Is she fucking pouting? Yo, what? That freeloader is all talk. Bro, what is happening? This is a completely new side of Castor.
残念ながら好みは霊体。自力では肉体を持てぬ。なるほど掃除か。命じられれば異論はないが、それはお主の流儀から外れるのではないか。私の実体化にかかる魔力量と、お主自身がほうきを握る魔力量。どちらが大きく力を使うか言うまでもないと思う。
Bro, he pissed her off. He pissed her off.
ですって、どう思う坊や。
この物言い。
Dude. Bro did not realize what he just stumbled into. Sounds like she's having problems with the help. Assassin's excuse was ironclad, too. Despite appearances, Castor is a genuine old-fashioned mage who makes Tosaka look like a dilettante? Dilettante? Dude, I don't know. I've never seen that word in my damn life. I'm guessing it means like apprentice or scrub or amateur, but what the? I have never seen that word in my life. A person who cultivates an area of interest such as the arts or science superficially or for amusement rather than with serious professional dedication. Okay. So, often used in a disapproving manner, it suggests a dabbler or a poser. Huh. Dilettante is how that Google said to pronounce it. Interesting. Sorry. Fate, for some reason, just I was rewatching my own videos, and like this keeps happening. Like specifically with Fate, like they hit me with vocab that I've never seen before, and I'm just like I can't help but like be like, what? I've never seen this word. What does this mean? Despite appearances, Castor's a genuine old-fashioned mage who makes Tosaka look like a dilettante. She's economical and won't spend any more magical energy than necessary to advance her strategic plans, especially not on something as wasteful as materializing a whole servant just to sweep the floor.
もっと物分かりのいい素直な少年霊を呼ぶべきだったかしらね。坊やくらい。
Well, you missed out on that boat, unfortunately. It was an option. Castor eyes me up and down. Wow, that instantly gave me chills.
料理ができて、掃除洗濯も得意な。そんな子を使い魔にすればよかったかしら。
He is good at those things.
そりゃどうも。
I'm not sure if she's complimenting me or teasing me for being completely useless as a mage. I have a feeling it's both. Suddenly, she shoots an annoyed glance up at the gate.
聞いているのでしょ、アサシン。
Assassin replies without revealing himself.
あなたのことを話していたのですよ。日がだ一日ぐうたら寝てばかりのあなたよりも、
Okay.
この坊やの方がよほど役に立つと言っているのがお分かり？
She's definitely dissing.
それは結構。本来、刀持ちなど役に立つべきではなかろう。畑を耕し、麦を育てる腕こそが真の侍。いや、そこな少年が私より役に立つというのは誠のことよ。
Bro's like waxing poetic. Just say, yeah, I'm pretty useless right now. Kojiro's lazy voice stands off against Castor's prickly temper. Are these two really master and servant? I'm not sure anymore.
それでもというのであれば、そら、霊樹でも使って私に命じてみるか。いい顔だ。久しぶりにソナタのそのような顔を見たぞ。
Bro.
最近のソナタは幸福に緩んでいて面白くないと思っていたところだ。
Bro loves to poke the bear. Kojiro is making fun of her. I always knew he had a fairly sarcastic attitude, but I didn't expect him to push her buttons this much.
構いません。あなたは門営としての役目を果たしなさい。元よりそれも満足にこなせなければ、今度はこの掃除場に格下げよ。
It's a funny thought. Fucking servant being used as a janitor.
うん。誠心誠意励むとしよう。
Kojiro's remarks stop. I couldn't get a word in between them.
そういうことよ、坊や。アサシンのことは分かったでしょ？
随分と。手伝うか？
I offer my help, curious what she'll say. Maybe that surprised her.
前からそうだとは思ってたけど、空気の読めない坊やね。私の手助けをしたら 私をことさらに敵視するセイバーが焼くわよ。
You think?
別に庭掃除を手伝ったくらいじゃセイバーは怒らない。この石段でも下まで掃除するのは手間だろ。だから
She really could use the help. I don't really have anything else to do, so who can blame me for offering? Castor sighs again.
あの小娘も便利なモンテを手に入れたものね。
小娘って遠坂のことか。そりゃあ
いや
俺は遠坂にこき使われているけど。
Bro just called her a slave driver. That's crazy.
ま、お断りしておくわ。あなたと一緒に掃除しているところを一星君に見つかれば、また口論になるでしょうから。
Even you're catching shit from Issei? And honestly, he definitely would, because he's gone on record in Stay Night as like, he'll talk to Shiro and be like, "Hey, dude, like, you don't need to push yourself so hard to help people." Like,
そっか、残念だ。
坊やじゃ仕方ないわ。これが宗一郎様と一緒なら、随分と不便があるのでしょうけどね。
Mr. Kazuki doing chores, huh? Actually, it's pretty easy to imagine him stoically sweeping. I actually can't imagine it. God damn it. Together, they embody the image of a picture-perfect traditional couple. A dry chuckle comes from the top of the gate.
何を笑ってるの、アサシン。
Bro, she's pissed. Bro, Castor with the hood down. Her sprites are funny. I don't know. I appreciate her a little more now.
何それだそれ。宗一郎様宗一郎様とあの男にのろけるそなたを見るのがいささか心苦しい。だからな、私はここにこもっているのだ。
減らず口よ。のろけですって？宗一郎様を誹謗する物言いは許しませんよ。
I feel like the Sama really says all you need to know there.
いやいや、主への使い方も満足に知らぬ風来坊ゆえな。
Bro always is like waxing poetic. What the hell is wrong with this dude? Do forgive this artless vagabond for not knowing how to adequately serve a liege lord.
主の主などにはどのように振る舞えばよいものか見当もつかぬよ。
降りてきなさい、アサシン。この際ですからあなたに言っておきたいことがあります。
ほう、構わぬが、それではそなたの掃除の手が留守になるぞ。
He is like, oh my god, this dude is an actual rage baiter. What the hell?
その後であなたにはこの門だけでも掃除してもらいます。こんなことをする時間が惜しいほど私は忙しくてよ。
今日は大掃除の日なのか。
It can't be easy maintaining the entire temple. I'll get a hold of Issei later and clean the place together.
早く降りてきなさい。
そう、せかすな。どれ。
I'll just get in the way if I stay here. I give a small bow and head on through into the temple grounds. Seeing just like the slice of life scenes with the servants is so funny. I truly love that so much. We got a little scene in here. Let's see if there's anything else in the town. I think there's something at the school. So we can either hang out with Issei, or we can see what else is at the Ryudo Temple. And we were already at the Ryudo Temple, so I guess let's just see what's there.
おかしいな。この辺りのような気がするんだけどな。見つからないってことは諦めた方がいいのかな。昔から見つけにくいものに限って手に入れた途端ろくでもない目に遭ってきたしな。
It's a boy in the temple grounds. With 24-karat gold hair and ruby red eyes, he's sure to stand out in a crowd. You know, I just need to look something up real quick. Okay. I'm not tripping. So, it's the same hair color and same color eyes as Gilgamesh. Okay. Is this the form we're getting Gilgamesh in? He's walking around the courtyard, seemingly looking for something he's dropped.
こんにちは。気持ちのいい天気ですね、お兄さん。
He greets me amiably.
いや、こんにちは。
いや、どうもです。やっぱり律儀なんですね、お兄さんは。そういうところ大変良いです。今後も愚直なまでに一途にこうしちゃってください。
The blonde boy bids me farewell. What?
まだここに来るのは早いってことです。そうだな。僕の名前が分かって、なんか曰くありげなものを手に入れたら、今と同じ時間にお寺の裏に行ってみるといいことあるかもです。
Huh? I mean, that seems like a direct gameplay tip. He leaves, his footsteps echoing lightly. The sound is soft, but his pace is like that of a hunting dog.
なんなんだ、一体。
Thus ends the strange encounter, in the early afternoon at Ryudo Temple. What the fuck? Okay. So this is the end of night 4, so... It's past 9 p.m. after dinner. Dinner ended without any major incidents, and everyone returned to their own rooms. It's still too early to sleep, so how should I enjoy the rest of my time? I guess I don't have... Yeah, I still don't have the option to go with Saber. Oh. How do I go back? Oh, no! Whoa, no. What did I just do? What did I just do? Oh, did I just step outside again? Ah, shit. Okay, so we're getting a repeat of the scene, aren't we? The moment I decide to step outside, I feel unwell. Is it a gut feeling or familiar terror? I know it's time to leave, but I feel a little timid.
さて、街の様子を見に行かないと。
I get up and reach for the sliding door. Just before I depart, I take one look back at my room and engrave its sight into my memory. The night is frigid. As soon as I step outside, I feel as if I've been thrust into a different world. The only part of it that feels real is the Emiya house, while the rest of Fuyuki flickers like a mirage. I mean, yeah, this is the exact scene I saw already, right? Yeah. Okay, I've already seen this. The remains of utter butchery. Yeah, I mean, I think I can just skip this at this point. Because, yeah, this is the same scene that I'd already seen. So now the girl appears. So the proliferation of wickedness continues. Yeah, we already got this. Guess I needed to try to sleep. Oops. I guess let's just go back. I don't think there were that many more events that I... Whoa! What the hell? What is that? Okay. I guess we'll see what this is all about. I always wake up in pain. It's a journey where I fall from a lightless abyss to the sunlit surface. From dark to light, not unlike the loud trip from womb to birth. My battered body and withering life are lit aflame, and my mind returns to the bright world of the living. I writhe in agony. The instant I revive, my blood flow, skeletal structure, nervous synapses, and organ operations, all of my vital functions give birth to pain. I live in order to suffer. My burned out brain gropes around for its destroyed normality, and the pain restarts my functions. In other words, the pain in my body allows me to start thinking like a human. There are hundreds of me now, swarming on top of a pallet. I no longer have a clear sense of self. Countless indistinguishable me's are melting together. There's a commensurate cost to being resurrected from nothing. That disorder, that feeling of nothingness fuses with the torment. I no longer have a self. Why am I alive again? Why is this happening to me? The answer to those questions are like a distant event. I lack a sense of self-awareness. Neither happiness nor sadness exist in this innocent, eternally fruitless paradise. But there's just one thing that hurts. I scratch my cheek. In this complete, deep pit, why am I still connected to something so beautiful? Okay. So we're back to Bazett. Interesting. The first day begins anew. The woman leaves, and my beautiful master Bazett is asleep on the sofa. She looks dead. The cause is clear. The servant Saber ran her through the heart in front of the church. She'll start breathing again soon enough, so there's no need to wake or bury her. I just need to protect this place, as her servant.
でもな、退屈だな。いたずらしちゃおうかな。
I'm pretty frank with myself where others ignore the intrusive thoughts. As a servant, I put top billing on my own desires. I can't ignore her. Normally, I'd assault and devour her without thinking, leaving the room a mess. Of course, I wouldn't do that to my master. It would be a real hassle if she woke up in the middle of it. I'm used to being hated and killed, but crying faces are a turn-off. Too bad. Gotta find a simpler way to kill the time. Click, 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 click. Click, 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 click. I slide the panel in time with the second hand on the clock. Immersed in the game, I increase the tempo. I hear her coquettish breathing from the sofa. Bazett lightly shakes her head and then glares at me like an enemy.
よ、目が覚めたかマスター。まさか今度も記憶が曖昧だ。なんて言い出すんじゃないだろうな。
記憶は確かです。あなたが私のサーバントであることも、私がこの洋館を隠れ家にしているマスターであることも知っている。
Interesting. Okay, so she seems to retain maybe some memory.
以前ここで目を覚ましたとき、私の記憶が不確かだったことも覚えています。
結構話が早くていい。じゃあまあ、早速外に出て聖杯戦争の続きといこ
う。待ちなさい。この洋館以前のことは曖昧ですが、その後のことは全て覚えている。
それは肝心なことは覚えてないくせに、どうでもいいことは覚えてるんだな。で、それがどうした？今生きてるんだからいいじゃねえか。細かいことは気にすんなよ。
Dude, that seems like a detail worth sweating if you ask me, but I don't know.
よくはない。こんな不条理、放っておいたままでいられるものですか。答えなさい、サーバント。私たちは倒された。それがなぜこうして生きているのです。
どうしてって、生き返ったからだろう。ま、厳密に言うと、1日目の夜に戻ってるってことだけどな。
Bazett doesn't look surprised. She must have been thinking furiously since she woke up. Her mental adaptability is anything but ordinary. The problem is that she's either unaware or ashamed of that talent. It isn't my place to say anything about it, though.
それが事実なら、 私のサーバントは大したものだ。死者の蘇生には時間旅行、平行世界の運営、無の否定、いずれかの魔法が絡む。あなたはその奇跡を可能とする英霊だというのですか？
Why is she looking at me like that? It's clearly a look of doubt, mockery, even. Do I look like a guy who'd make outrageous claims like that?
まあ、その真似事をしてると思ってくれればいい。あんたは死んでも生き返れる。俺と契約している限り何度だってやり直せる。誰に敗れようが、こうしてここから仕切り直しができるってわけだ。
原理はわかりませんが、リセット。いえ、ループしているということね。どんな宝具かは見当がつかないけど、とにかくあなたは夜になれば蘇生、いえ、死んだ場合、生きていた頃のこの場所にスキップしてしまう。
Right.
結果、私たちはまだ生きているから死から蘇生する。運命に介入、改ざんするタイプの宝具ですか？確かに英霊を名乗るにふさわしい力だわ。これなら本人がどんなに弱くても納得がいく。
Which means she didn't believe me before. I guess anyone would be fed up with me after getting slaughtered without anything to show for it.
そういうわけだ。だから安心してやられてくれ。ああ、けど、殺されるのはなるだけ夜がいい。俺は夜でないと戦えないんだ。昼間はあんまり調子が出ないたちでさ。
Bro, apparently you can't even fight at night.
ループの条件は夜中でなければならないという。確かにそれぐらいの弱点がなければ強力すぎる宝具だわ。
Actually, she's wrong about a lot of that. Whatever, it still works out the same.
いいでしょう。行動を起こすのは夜中だけとします。日中はここで眠りますから、あなたも勝手な行動は控えるように。
はいよ。けどあんたこそさ、昼間は決して外に出てくれるな。俺日中は本当に弱いんだ。マスターが守ってくれなきゃ簡単に殺されちまうからな。
わかりました。
Bro, a vampire or something?
何か
We got
著し
Dracula,
く
bro.
立場が逆な気がしますが、あなたの特性は把握しましたから。戦闘能力こそ皆無ですが、特殊能力は他に類を見ないものです。戦闘は私が行いますから、あなたはその得意な宝具で聖杯戦争をフォローしてくれればいい。
むむ。そりゃ助かるけど、極端すぎないかマスター。俺だって少しは戦える。サーバントには勝てないと断言できるが、その気になれば足の。
あの結果でですか？戦闘面においてあなたには何も期待していません。
She said, no, you're
あなたはそ
trash.
こにいるだけでいい。
You got properly dusted by Saber.
楽でいいけど、それじゃあいつまで経っても勝てないぜ。マスターからサーバントを引き離すのも何度もうまくいくとは思えないし。
In the end, the Holy Grail War is about defeating other servants. Good luck killing a master while their servant's still kicking. But a servant isn't something a human can handle. That's why I'm offering to help, even if I'm not really feeling up to it. And yet...
いえ、マスターとサーバントを引き離す必要などありません。サーバントなら私が倒します。
I'm gonna need to see you back up that talk. I want to believe. I definitely want to believe, although you got dusted by Saber. Bazett declares with unshakable confidence. Well, damn. I like to think of myself as unflappable most of the time, but that sent a chill up my spine.
それより質問があります。殺されたのが夜なら何度でも蘇ると言いましたが、それは何らかの代償が必要なのですか？例えば私の魔術回路が失われていくとか、あなたの宝具には使用回数が決まっているとか。
いや、代償はないよ。あんたから取り立てるものは一切ない。我が属性は虚無。無がある限り何度でも蘇る。あんたは安心して納得いくまで続ければいい。
確認しました。あなたと契約している限り、私は負けないということですね。
We'll see about that. Yep, but you can't win either.
となると、残る問題は一つだけですが、いえ、ここまで好条件だというのに、そんな不満を口にするなど何を考えているのか私は。
なんだよいきなり。他に聞きたいことでもあんのか？
その、つまらないことを聞くのですが、死亡した場合、こうして蘇生できるのは素晴らしい、反則と言っていい得点でしょう。ですが、その、蘇生する際のあの痛みは消せないものなのでしょうか。いくら死から逃れるためとはいえ、この先もあの痛みを通過するかと思うと、
Yeah,
二の足を踏むというか。
I guess if I had to go through unspeakable agony to get resurrected, I would do my best to not die.
は？何それ？蘇生するとき怖い思いでもしてんのあんた？
怖いわけではありません。不快で気味が悪いだけです。へえ、あれが地獄と呼ばれる地点なのかわからない。ただ、おぞましく汚らしかった。本来、死者に意識はない。通常の死者なら不快に思わないのでしょうが、意識のある者には、あれは最低のドブクズです。
ああ、そうなんだ。参ったな。俺は特別感じないけど、気がついたらここにいるって感じで。人間とサーバントの違いかね。
Suppose it probably is.
けどまあ。
Oh, whoops. Kind of a cool visual. Gotta at least put up with this much. After all, she's basically a dead woman walking.
その、なんだ。あんたそりゃわがままってもんですよ。
I mean, to a degree, she's literally a dead woman walking, but then also, I mean, the servant's own words are that basically that this is not a winnable war and that this is just gonna keep going over and over, right? It was the implication I got for sure.
わかっています。言ってみただけです。蘇生の代償なんですから、あの程度の攻めく耐え抜いてみせましょう。
そうそう。この先何度もお世話になるだろうし、今のうちに受け属性作っとけよ。
そう何度も殺されてたまるものですか。次に殺されるのはセイバーのサーバントだ。私がされたように、あの胸を貫いてみせます。
Good luck with that.
ああ、それでこそ俺のマスターだ。んじゃあまあ、そのやる気が燃えてるうちに聖杯戦争を続けるとしようか。
I head for the exit. To be honest, I couldn't give a rat's ass about the Holy Grail War, but I don't like the idea of just sitting around and taking it either. Gotta find an enemy to kill as soon as I can. I'll kill whoever hurts me. I'll kill whoever didn't stop themselves from hurting me. Anyone I see'll die. I'll kill any humans that are alive. Otherwise, I can't stay insane. Otherwise, I'll lose my mind. That's an interesting set of quotes. I can't stay insane, otherwise I'll lose my mind.
どうした？行かないのか、マスター。
I swallow my heart that threatens to leap out of my mouth and turn back to Bro, what is my webcam doing again? Why is it doing this again? Damn, everything makes this recording session difficult. I swallow my heart that threatens to leap out of my mouth and turn back to Bazett, who's just standing there. She remember my bloodlust? She's making the same face she did when I attacked those bloody houses.
やはり、私は半人前だ。一番大事な質問をどうして思い出さなかったのか。
Seems like she might not remember her own servant's nature. It's obvious. You didn't remember because you don't want to remember.
答えろ。お前は一体何のサーバントだ？
I hope you get an answer. Hostility taints the question. Then I grin like a girl waiting for her lover and say,
Avenger. 復讐のサーバントだよ。
Okay. Okay. With hatred and joy, I declare a class which doesn't exist. I mean, is this Angra Mayu? Like, straight up? It's a high-speed combo. The right straight mercilessly crushes a monster's skull with inhuman savagery, enough to make one pity the enemy. 10 of their numbers have already died their vengeance, but more prey rise to meet her. Venomous, cursed claws target her during the brief incident after she pulls her right fist back, hoping to wound her before she regains her balance. She evades them with a light shake of the head, simultaneously lashing out at another monster's temple with her right foot. Sharp and heavy. A head, wet like a tomato, goes flying. Without visually confirming the kill, Bazett whirls on another prey approaching from behind, intercepting it with lethal timing. She's like a bladed comet. She cuts down attackers from every direction like a ruthless, four-handed dance macabre. I'm doing alright in my corner, but for every one beast I kill, Bazett pulverizes 3. I mean, she literally pulverizes them. She's a walking meat grinder despite those thin arms and legs. I really underestimated her. Who thought that humans could take unarmed combat to this level? Her fists, feet, knees, and elbows appear to be inscribed with runes of hardening, but her basic fighting moves must be based on refined fighting techniques meant for humans to use. It's nothing like the way I give myself over to my instincts to lash out at my enemies. Bazett's moves are the result of generations of blood and sweat. I wonder how much time and effort it took to hone them to this level. She's a young girl, I mean, a mature woman. So has she even had time to learn anything else? Probably not. The monsters are no match for this human weapon. They're just sheep to be hunted, prey trying to find safety in numbers. I guess they've just got a rendezvous with fate. You ever wonder where the French put their silent letters? Probably up their What the hell?
なるほど。これがあなたの言っていた得体の知れない連中ですか?
That's interesting. I actually kind of assumed, like, for some reason in my head, despite that woman who seemed to be the one, like, leading the beasts, for some reason in my head, this was somehow a result of Avenger, right? Who, again, if I had to, like, is that Angra Mayu, right? I'm not crazy, right? They said Angra Mayu was an Avenger, right? Because I'm pretty sure it was like during the Third Holy Grail War, I thought it was they summoned Angra Mayu, the Avenger, and it like threw the whole war into chaos, right? And tainted the Grail, right? That's what I thought I remembered, or maybe it wasn't even the third. It might have been like the second, but point is, not the fourth or the fifth. That's what I feel like I remember, but I'd have to review some of the bits about Angra Mayu from Heaven's Field to really make sure that Angra is described as an Avenger, the impossible class, right? That, I guess, like, because I thought the Einsburn summoned an Avenger, but I could be tripping. I don't know. Bazett exhales loudly and puts away her gloves. I can't believe it. She's taken on nearly 20 of those things. And all she has to say is, whew. Yeah, this woman's crazy.
使い魔の類でしょうね。
Literally built different.
知性は乏しく、人間を殺すという単一性能しかありませんが、大量に刺激するには適している。私たちの知らない、マスターではない8人目の魔術師がいるのは確かなようだ。こんな使い魔を使って、無差別に人を襲う魔術師など放置できない。あなたは何か心当たりがありますか？
俺？マスターの言うようなやつは知らない。 ま、そのうち出会うんじゃないか。
I mean, it clearly just flashed to the exact woman that I was talking about. So I think it's safe to assume that that's probably who was in charge of the beasts. After all, we've got all the time in the world. It won't end no matter what we do, so we're bound to encounter them at some point.
いいでしょう。それと、あなたを疑ったことを謝ります。町の異常は、この怪物たちの主の仕業で、あなたの仕業ではなかった。
いいさ。冤罪は慣れっこだし、同じ穴の無地ななんだ。こいつらが先か、俺が先かの違いだよ。こいつらが町の人間たちを殺して回ってるもんで、俺の仕事が全くないだけだ。
I'm glad they saved me the work, but it's never a good feeling to have someone steal your job. It impinges on my reason. Dude, I don't know how to read what French. Detray, like detra, like I don't know. I'm sorry. We're just moving on. I'm guessing it just means like reason to be. I can't bear the thought of being a deadbeat.
そんな仕事はやめなさい。あなたがどこの英霊かは知りませんが、私のサーバントである以上、一般人を巻き込むことは許しません。
だから、今日は誰も殺してないだろ。さっきの屋台の兄ちゃんなんて、よだれ垂らしながら見送ったんだぜ。おでんも肉も食いたかったな。けど言われたことは何とか守る優秀な俺。ほら、褒めて褒めて。
Goodness gracious.
それが普通なのです。褒められることではありません。
Got me a hard to please owner. Makes me want to rebel at any moment.
それより、いい加減はっきりさせることがある。あなたの宝具が何であるかは分かりましたが、まだ神名を聞いていない。今更ですが、あなたはどこの英雄なのです？
そんなものは初めに言ったんだがね。覚えていないあんたの落ち度だと思うんだが、そうか。まだ記憶とやらは曖昧なままなのか。
Seems like they're not gonna hide it.
それは、そうですね。こうなっては隠していても仕方がありません。アベンジャー。私はあなたと契約した時のことを思い出せない。時間を置けば回復すると踏んでいましたが、状況は私が思っていたより厳しいようだ。いつになるかわからない記憶の回復など待っていられない。
Cutting it because she didn't want to show weakness before, but I guess she's not too worried about that anymore.
で、手っ取り早く俺にもう一度説明しろと。そう言われても、俺が知ってることなんてたかが知れてるぜ。あんたは俺をサーバントとして召喚して契約した。気がつけば俺はあの洋館にいて、あんたに首はつけられてこき使われてたわけだ。そん時に神名は名乗ったが、まあ別にいいか。誰に聞かれてもどうってことない。
どうということはない。それはどういう？
俺、自分の名前はないんだ。生前どんな名前だったのかなんて知らねえのさ。
そんなバカな。サーバントである以上、あなたは英霊だ。名称のない英雄など存在しない。
ああ、だから名称はある。俺には人間としての名前がないだけだ。周りが呼んでいた名称でいいなら教えられるけど、それでいい？
It's definitely Angra.
もちろんです。契約するとき、私はあなたの名前を聞いているはずだ。結果、あなたを信頼。いえ、聖杯戦争を勝ち抜くにふさわしい力を持っていると判断した。その、私が認めた名称は何というのです？
アンリマユ。どこぞの古びた風習の名前だよ。
I mean, it's spelled a bit differently here, but that's definitely Angra Mayu. Or Anra Mayu. Close enough. Definitely the same thing. No point hiding it. It's nothing to be pretentious about, so I just tell her.
アンリマユ。その名は。
That isn't a hero's name. It isn't worthy of a hero. It isn't even something you should call a person. Her face says it all, and more. I know how my noble master must feel right now. I totally fail to live up to my name. Onraminyu. Onraminyu is the name of one of the greatest devils of ancient Persia. He was the biggest antagonist of Zoroastrianism, an advocate of evil said to be fighting the light god and guardian of human benevolence for 9,000 years. I guess just for clarity. Should I just stick with Onraminyu? Because that's what I remember seeing in Fate Stay Night? Or should I go with Onraminyu? Like the way they have it spelled here. I don't even know, like, maybe it's pronounced the same way. It didn't really sound like it, but... Or maybe the G was always silent? I don't know. I don't know. In short, a god of evil. On top of that, its domain encompasses half of the entire world. Just the fact that I was named thusly invites trouble. Honestly, I'd feel a lot less inadequate if it was something more modest, like the god of desks or jars. Zoroastrianism revolves around the conflict between the gods of good and evil. It's one of the world's first religions which inspired the duality between angels and demons. Of course, I've never seen any angels or known any demons. I was just one person in a village of people who got all hot and bothered about those teachings. They treated me as a hero for just a bit of sin and salvation, and apparently enshrined me as a heroic spirit after I died.
勘違いするなよ。別に神様本人ってわけじゃない。たまたま持ってる属性がそいつに近かったから加盟として付けられただけだろ。
So just kind of like a similar vessel.
英霊としての格は低いし、知っての通りあまり役に立たない三流だ。
それはとっくに承知しています。今さら弁解してもらうことでもありません。
You really are a tough audience, Master.
しかし、アンリマユ。いえ、私の呼び出したサーバントは確か。
Yeah, there's Cucullin right there. She mumbles about how it feels like someone that was important to her. Yeah, okay. So, it appears that I've been decently correct on a few fronts, at least so far in the setup of the story. Like, I was like, this is definitely Lancer's original master, right? They obviously set her up as, but seemingly someone that I assume is Irish, right? And who had Cucullin's, I think they said his sword, right? So this is obviously, she was trying to summon Cucullin. And instead she ended up with Onraminyu. I mean, it sounded the way they said it. It just sounded like Onraminyu, but with a silent G. So that's how I'm going to say it for now. I guess if there's a way you guys prefer I say it, just let me know. Like, I understand it's referring to the same thing. She mumbles about how it feels like someone that was important to her. Bazett Fraga McRemitz questions herself.
親愛なる響きね。何？あんた、他に呼び出したい英霊がいたの？俺なんかじゃなく、もっと強くて立派な英雄に当てがあったとか。
いえ、そんなことはあまり。
I hear her whisper. Well. Wow, that tells me everything I need to know. She's got someone else on her mind, which I knew. But who knows she'd be this picky about servants? So she compromised to get me. And here I was pretty serious. Well, whatever.
面白いな、その顔。あんたでもそんな顔するんだ。拍子抜けではあるが、まあ予想通りでもある。
Maybe that's why Lancer's still able to be here without a master.
で、どんな男が好みなんだ、あんた。
何を言い出しますか。男性の好みなんて話していなかったでしょ。私はただあなたとかの英霊との違いを考えていただけです。
だからそれが男の話だっていうの。使い魔なんざ術者の好みが第一なんだから、女のマスターが色男を呼ぶのは当然じゃねえか。
I guess, like, thinking about it, actually, I guess, like, every servant was, like, are there any, like, females who summoned a female, right? Like, Archer was Rin, right? I mean, supposedly Bazett was Cucullin, right? Or that was the intent, at least. Obviously, Shiro was Saber, right? Kazuki was Caster. Caster was why can't I remember Assassin's name? Sasuke Kojiro. I mean, like, I guess it's not completely true, right? Because Zoken summoned Hassan. But it is true a lot more often than I thought about.
何それとも女の英霊でも呼ぶ気だったのか
Hey, this is a judgment-free zone.
そりゃ深いな。まさか趣味と実益を兼ねた論争だったとは。
That's a crazy sentence.
私はそのような市場は挟みません。あなたと契約したのはそれが正しいと私が判断したからです。そこに異性の感情など挟まない。ですが誤解を招く物言いだったことも認めましょう。私は確かにあなた以外の英霊に執着していた。
That like cheating in the realm of like heroic spirits?
そう、それそれ。そこまで白状したなら聞かせろよ。減るもんじゃなし、隠し事は極力潰していこう。で、マスター。あんたもともとどこの英霊を呼び出そうとしてたんだ？
呼び出そうというのは、私にはかの英霊を召喚できる保証はなかったし、私自身彼の存在を信じてはいなかったのですから。
Her voice grows timid, uncertain. She must be reliving an old memory. She shrinks back as if admonishing herself.
なるほど。信じていない英雄は呼び出せない。けど、あんたはその英雄に会いたかったわけか。
どうでしょう。恥ずかしい話ですが、自分でもわからない。子供の頃の話です。私はその何に対しても冷めた子供だった。周りの言う楽しみというものがうまく飲み込めず、よく両親を困惑させたものです。父は言いました。お前は作業のように一日を過ごすのだな、と。すまなそうな目をして、いつも私に謝っていた。
I mean, I can see all this.
負い目があったのは両親だけだったのでしょうね。私はそういった父の罪悪感も感じ取れず、今と同じつまらない毎日を過ごしていた。思い出の大部分はそういった淡々とした日々です。けれど一つだけ夢中になったものがあった。本当にどうしてそれだけが特別だったのか今でもわからない。家の書斎でたまたま手にした私の国ならどこにでもある昔話を読んだとき、私はとても悲しかった。
Certainly that storybook wasn't about Ireland's Child of Light.
昔話ね。それが
It's hard to believe, but that's who she wanted to meet. A young girl dreamed and forgot it as she grew up. Just one of life's many abandoned fantasies.
ええ。その童話にいる時だけ、私は同じ年頃の子たちと同じになれた。けど、その話の最後は華やかなものではなかった。
Yeah.
決して褒めたたえていい物語なんかじゃなかった。
It's a solid way to describe Cucullin's myths.
そう。みんなは勇ましい話だと言うけれど、私には違った話にしか見えなかった。何もできない私だけど、もし許されるのなら彼を救いたいと願ってもいいのでしょうか。
I wonder if we're ever gonna get to see her like interact with Cucullin. I hope so. Generally, humans have an urge to save things, and most of them like that idea. Even I harbor similar feelings. No matter what form that desire takes, you can't blame her for at least feeling that way. However, am I really allowed to wish for that? The answer might be clear to the rest of us, but it wasn't for that little girl. Bazett wishes for something that anyone could do. She wanted to save a hero from a fairy tale, the only person she ever acknowledged. No whatever from me this time. Bastard. I'll kill you if I ever see you.
欲がないな。それがあんたの望みってわけ？聖杯も随分安く使われるもんだ。
Don't tell Saber that. I snicker. It's pretty funny, actually, like pitting two fairy tales against each other.
だからそれは子供の頃の話です。今のは英霊を召喚するとしたら誰を選ぶかという話でしょ。もしかの英雄を呼び出せる触媒があったのなら、私には召喚する動機があったという話です。
Can you explicitly say you did have one?
でも結局呼び出したのは俺みたいな半端者だったわけだ。マスターも男運ねえな。
I cackle. Seriously, she's one unlucky lady.
アベンジャー、今の私の望みは聖杯を確保し魔術協会に持ち帰ることです。
知ってるよ。あんたそこまで器用な人間じゃないからな。
You can't wish for what doesn't exist anyway. 0 times anything is still 0.
次はあなたの番よ、アベンジャー。私が答えたのだから教えなさい。あなたの望みは何なのです？
Damn, she turned the tables on me. The truth is, I don't have a wish for the Holy Grail, just like my master. I think it's a little tragic that there's only one thing I'm obsessed with right now.
俺の望み？強いて言うと、絵を完成させたいってところか。
Her face says she has no idea what I'm talking about. After this, when we go back to the hideout and she finds the unfinished sliding puzzle I'm working on, she'll get pissed off and tell me to answer the question. Oh, there's Archer.
今強い魔力を感じなかった。
悪い。
You're about to
魔
get
力感知なんか
diced.
持ってない。けど発信源なら見たぜ。あのビルの屋上で何か光った。
Bazett reacts quickly. She shoulders the pack that was resting at her feet, tells me to keep up, and starts running for the center building. I follow her dutifully. Still, I'm a little curious. I want to know what that tube on her back is. It's gotta have some kind of weapon, but she tossed it on the ground and didn't use it during the fight earlier. You can't blame me for being curious after seeing her pick it back up.
ねえ、それ何？
Bazett searches for a back entrance to the building. She looks very tense.
ねえねえ、それ何なんだよ。
Bro, acting like a 5-year-old, I pester her just as tenaciously. Maybe it worked, because she stops and shows me the tube. I examine it for about 1 minute. After waiting for me to get a good look, she says...
どう？わかった？
ああ、わかった。多分 T セットが入ってる。
Oh, she mad. She mad. Not she's mad. She mad. Bazett's brow furrows, and she reluctantly removes a lid from the cylinder. Balls roll out of it. They're about as big and heavy as shot put balls. The tube looks like it could fit up to 5, but there's only 3 inside. I see. Now I understand everything. Bazett Frogga McRemets is someone to be feared if she's carrying these things around. By the way...
何これ？
Yeah, man, she's someone to be feared. The mystery only deepens.
あなたには説明しません。少なくとも T セットでないことは確認していただけたかと。
He said, do not mistake it for some shit like that. She puts the balls back into the tube and shoulders it again. Probably doesn't want to put all her cards on the table with someone she doesn't trust. That's fine.
力持ちだな。何？胸が重い分肩に負担かかって筋肉あるとか？使いもしねえくせに無駄にでかいもんな、あんたの。
Bro. Come on, son. I state the objective facts with my well-honed eye for beauty. Bazett skids to a halt and slowly turns around like a rusty mechanical doll.
微笑ましい。あなたの遮奪さは時に殺意を覚えるほど的確で勇敢だ。
I like the edge in her voice. This is how a master and servant should be. Bro. Just reminds me of that, like, the one, like, Cowboy Bebop meme, right? Like, I like a woman that'll just straight up kill me. Like, that's Anra. Her attention practically spells out how she's going to murder me if we survive the night. There's nobody on the rooftop, but we take in the howling wind.
遅かったか。確かに何者かがいた痕跡はありますが、ここから足取りを探るのは不可能だ。
Bazett walks to the edge and looks down, looking for clues. As for me, I rub out the bloodstains on the ground with my feet. This is the highest vantage point in Shinto. The moon seems closer here, so much so that it feels like you could reach it with a ladder or a set of stairs. The city is mostly empty by now, but is still lit up. I gaze out at the dazzling indicator of prosperity. This won't be boring, no. It's nothing special, but I have nothing bad to say about this vista.
Avenger.
Her voice cuts through the night. Bazett walks up next to me.
なんだよ。何かいいものでも見つけたのか？
先ほどの怪物を何体か確認しました。この場所からなら、信徒にいる使い魔は肉眼で発見できそうです。
She gives me a meaningful glance. I don't know if you guys can hear this, because I have application audio, I think, set to only the game, so I think it's fine. But for some reason, every now and then, my wallpaper engine is bugging, and it'll just play the intro sound of a random wallpaper. Like a random Persona 5 song just fucking played in my ear. I don't think you guys should be able to hear that, but it's so annoying. I gotta figure out how to fix that. It's really bugging me. Especially if you guys can just randomly hear, like, Persona music. Like, for, like half a second. It's literally, it's not very common, but I think it's happened twice this video, so it's annoying. She gives me a meaningful glance. Apparently, she was watching the monsters roaming the city, not taking in the sights.
それが何？ここで一晩中観察して使い魔の主人を探してみるとか？
現実的ではありませんね。あれは使い捨てのようだ。主人の元には戻りませんから、ここで監視したところで本拠地は割り出せない。
だろうな。無駄なことはしないに限る。マスターが懸命で助かった。
What is the plan?
けど、
アベンジャー。私はあの怪物たちを一掃したい。そのために、あなたの力を貸しなさい。
There it is. Good God, this is the problem with overachievers. Makes me want to tear her limb from limb.
一般人を巻き込むな。なんて命令に比べれば俺向きだけどな。いいのかよ、マスター。あんた、聖杯戦争に勝つことが目的なんだろ？連中の主人が邪魔だってんならわかる。けど、奴らが人間を殺して回ってるから一掃する。なんてのは矛盾している。悪い子でいようと決めたのにいい子でもいたいなんて。そりゃ都合が良すぎるだろ。
The way Anra talks is crazy. Oh, she mad. And first you talk like you're some bad bitch. Like, what? The way this dude talks is crazy. This time, I don't bother hiding my bloodlust, making it clear that this could turn into a bloodbath. I move my hand behind me and summon my favorite dagger. My prediction, that we'd end up trying to kill each other at least once, looks about to come true. Someone called me a prophet. I won't be the one to start it, but I'll answer if she comes at me. That's my style. Very regrettable, but it had to happen at... Huh?
あなたの言う通りだ。確かに、人助けが目的ではありません。
She shows a moment's hesitation, then wisely swallows it.
ですが、間違っていることは正したい。知った以上、私には見て見ぬふりはできません。
She sounds like she's trying to convince herself.
それはどんな理由で？連中が人を殺すのがいけないってこと？それを見逃す自分がいけないってこと？それとも、聖杯戦争より人助けの方が大切だってこと？
All of the above, probably. That's why Bazett's bound by all these contradictory desires. If she believed she was right, she wouldn't be struggling this much. She's desperately trying to repress the side of her that's a mage.
正しいと思える行動に理由はありません。いえ、理由があってはいけないと思う。それを正しいと感じたのなら。
She probably wants to say that there isn't a contradiction between the benefit and her motives.
独善だね。 やばいぜ、その考え。
ええ。あなたに言われなくとも承知している。
She's clapping back. That's probably the idea of righteousness she wants to believe in. She's an interesting figure. I'm definitely curious to see more of her and like her ideals. On the other hand, as she is right now, Bazett Fraga McRemit is a slave to the association's motives. So yeah, she's got that conflict between, you know, being a mage and what she actually believes in. I wonder how long she can keep playing both sides.
まあ、ご立派な思想はいいけどさ。何もそこまで正義に付き合ってやることはないだろう。ありゃ元から形のないものだ。どんなに求愛しても、向こうから帰ってくるものはないよ。それよりさ、もっといい夢を見せてくれる勢力と付き合った方が良くないか。
ですから、私も魔術協会に所属している。私だって見返りは欲しい。それとは別に、できる限り正しくありたいと思うだけです。
Wonder why she feels that way. It implies that there are times when she thinks she's in the wrong. She's trying to clean the dirty parts of herself by making better choices. Man.
生真面目なあんたらしい。要するに、徳の高い人間になりたいんだ。
Got a hero of justice over here. What an awkward, pathetic life she must live.
そうなのかもしれませんね。けれど、私にはかなわない願いだ。私は壊すことでしか感謝されない人間です。人徳とは、他人に親しまれる、他人に与えることができる人間が持ち得るもの。決して私に与えられるものではありません。
I mean, it seems like she kind of views herself as a weapon, almost. That she doesn't deserve, like, or like she doesn't get to have virtue, right? Like, an interesting conflict of beliefs is being set up for sure. Virtue is about contributing to society and helping other people. She says that she can only destroy. She's convinced that someone who can't mend or create can never truly earn the trust of others.
それは誤認だと思うけどね。
いいえ、私には私財を投げ打って貧窮の民を救うことも、新しい組織を作ることもできない。あくまで歯車の一つで、いつまでもちっぽけな一個人から抜け出せない。そんな人間に高い徳なんて得られるはずがないでしょう。
まさか。
Oh, I'm actually getting mad now. Ugh, I'm taking this way too seriously.
それだけは完璧に間違いだ。金で徳は買えねえよ。
That's also true.
徳ってのは魂の質だ。それは得るものじゃない。苦しみながら自分の中で培うものだろう。
That's true of every human, no matter how insignificant, powerless, or worthless one is. It's a function everyone possesses equally at birth, a radiance that grows according to one's will to move forward. It doesn't distinguish between good or evil. It's like a greater understanding you can only gain on your own, available to only those who aim for even greater heights as living creatures.
徳は、自らの価値は、外的評価によるものではないというのですか。
あ？いや、価値って話なら外的評価が全てだよ。そのための徳、そのための自己錬磨だ。せいぜい高値ふっかけて、自分を自分以上に買ってくれるやつとくっつくためのパラメーターだよ。
Elevating your inner world influences your presence in the outer world. Lonely show-offs are obsessed with being seen as good people. What a wretched, shameful way to live. How self-serving it must be to try to be a good person so that other people won't hate you. But...
それでいいじゃねえか。誰かに認められたいって気持ちはな、怒っていいことなんだよ。その気持ちがあるやつは同じようにきっと誰かを認めてやれる。あんたの方針が結局は自分のためだって言うんなら間違ってなんかいねえってこと。
Honra's perspective is also kind of interesting. I can't lie. It's just, I mean, that's just kind of interesting. What's wrong with the desire to be acknowledged, essentially? You know? That's where the beauty of love is, the desire to enjoy life together. She hasn't reached that understanding yet, and it's doubtful she ever will. She just doesn't have the knack for it. But she's dabbled in everything, making her a jack of all trades. She's reactionary and shameless, trying to better herself by single-mindedly taking the long way around. She's got herself an inkling that she's in the wrong, but curses herself as nothing special, stuck in a purgatory and clawing her way to something brighter. Ah, so this is the kind of person I'm helping.
そのあなたらしからぬ考説でしたが、結論として今後の方針に文句はないという。
ああ、いいんじゃない？正義の味方ってのも気持ちよさそうだし、たまには理不尽な死から人々を守るのも悪くない。
This is interesting. It's like kind of reminiscent of Shiro, except if like Honor's saying like, why not be that a hero of justice? You know, why not champion justice? I bet it's satisfying, right? You can get a sense of satisfaction from it. It doesn't, you don't have to do it just because it's the right thing to do. That's kind of interesting. That justice stuff is gross and sounds like something out of a comic book or whatever, but it can sound kind of neat, I guess.
意外ですね。正義なんて言葉、あなたが最も嫌うものだと感じていましたが。
嫌いだよ。けど、そういう方向性は好きなんだ。
は？
First off, it doesn't change what we have to do. We're going to patrol the city at night, kill the other masters, and kill the monsters. The only difference is that they now have the same priority. I'm still more than capable of either. The Yuki is still full of life. The cup won't run dry until my master is sated. While we'll never see victory, we also won't know death, and will overcome failure.
そう。あんたの気が済むまでやろうぜ、マスター。何事も経験だ。飽きるまで楽しめばいい。
The wind whistles a higher note. Of course, from up here, so close to the heavens, the city lights may as well be a pipe dream. The Holy Grail War will continue as long as it takes. My murderous pleasure will, too. Most likely, we'll lose to another master tomorrow and revive again. I'll stick with her a while longer, until Bazett changes her mind. The sky here is distant, deep, and hollow. Ultimately, there are only illusions to be gained.
あんたの気が済むまでやろうぜ、マスター。何事も経験だ。飽きるまで楽しめばいい。
My servant breaks eye contact with me. Oh, we swap perspectives then. I wonder what changed his mind. With that last casual remark, he goes quiet and looks out at the night landscape. The servant Avenger. I've heard that on occasion, classes other than the original 7 appear during the Holy Grail War. Avenger must be one of them. A heroic spirit of vengeance sounds contradictory, but more than that, his name Onramayu is an enigma. It's an interesting, portrait. There are many causes of heroes later being assigned names that they weren't born with. The childhood hero I described is one of them. Yeah, his actual childhood name is what? Satanta? Satanta? But still, Onramayu is just too sinister. One day, I'll need to get him to tell me his birth name, not this wicked title. Dark shadows roam here and there in the city below. Even with Kanaz, the rune of farsight, I can only see as far as the urban Shinto area's borders. The Mion River divides Fuyuki in two. I can't find out what's happening across the bridge of Miyama unless I go there myself. The black monsters must be lurking out there too. I wonder what magecraft was used to create such familiars. I've never seen their type at the association. Cryptically, they do seem to be controlled. They lack intellect, but the way they appear and reappear feels deliberate. Individually, their combat strength is relatively high. They resemble a hybrid of large canines and feral, oversized primates. A human without any combat experience would die instantly against one. Someone with at least a decade's training in martial arts or sports might be able to resist for a few seconds or even escape, given favorable conditions. But they're also numerous. And their physical appearance evokes a primal revulsion, with wicked claws and hide as tough as tree bark. If multiple of them attacked a person, it would be impossible to survive without firearms. And yet... those howls are sickening. They're unbearable and grating, nothing like the roar of a majestic beast. Yeah, that was horrifying. If insect pests had vocal cords, I bet they'd sound like that. Avenger doesn't seem to like the sound. In our earlier battle, I saw him exchange blows with the monsters in a businesslike manner. Of course, there isn't much to say about his skills. His claim to be the weakest servant is correct. It's correct, but should a heroic spirit really struggle against that level of fodder? I hope he isn't scamming me.
詐欺じゃないだろう。初めっから最弱だって断ってんだから。
待って、あなた、私の考えが読めるの？
読めねえよ。そんな風な面してたから言っただけだ。ま、読めたらさぞ面白いだろうよ。
That easy to
あん
read.
たは中身と外見がちぐはぐだからな。
My servant laughs shamelessly. He's so boorish and not suited to me at all. Plus, he's weak. And I'll talk. I'll have to do the heavy lifting in our rematch with Saber. I mean, that might be why you got paired with them, because you are, they're weak, but they have a really strong ability, but you're strong and could make use of it. I mean, imagine if, Shiro got paired with Anra, right? Bro, you can loop as many times as you want. Shiro wasn't doing anything in Fate Stay Night, you know? Eventually he could, but it was mostly when he got Archer's arm, you know? Still, it isn't all bad. This servant is singularly talented at not dying. Also, I mean, maybe that's a tiny bit of Shiro slander. In Unlimited Blade Works, he kind of figured things out. But, barring very special circumstances, I guess maybe with enough time he'd learn. But, point is, a lot of mages would not be able to fight good enough to make up for a servant who simply cannot fight. You know? Still, it isn't all bad. The servant is singularly talented at not dying. He'll revive on death, so he can't be permanently killed, but his mental fortitude makes him good in a defensive fight. In the brawl earlier, for example, I was eliminating the enemies enveloping me at a rate of 1 per second. He, on the other hand, held out against the enemies around him up until I could come over to back him up. His fighting style is about neither winning nor losing. I hate to admit it, but our tactics are exceedingly compatible. The wind picks up again. I see my servant's hair wafting in the corner of my eye. The primitive shaman accepts the wind wafting up from the wasteland. I see a vision of him taking in nature for what it is, simply choosing to live and die with it.
Avenger, 今の。
そろそろ行こうぜ。連中がたむろしている場所は把握しただろ。あんなんでも生き物だからな。ばらせば気晴らしにはなってくれる。
I must have imagined it. Avenger was looking for a gathering of the monsters.
そうか。難しく考えることはなかったんだ。あんたも人が悪いぜ、マスター。結局さ、目につく敵は全て殺せってことじゃねえか。
Twirling his wicked knives, Avenger's lips curl into a genuine smile of delight. He just needs to kill. It doesn't matter if they're humans or animals. They're all beasts in the end. I glare at my servant.
ああ、間違い。人間は殺しません。やるのはマスターと怪物たちだけにするから、そう怖い顔しないでください。ああ、もうつまんねえの。うちのマスターは器量小せんだからさ。
Rose,
でかいのは胸だけかよ。
Rose trying to get killed. He disappears into the building, making his crude jokes all the while.
最低ですね。あれは何を言ってもあのままだ。
I sigh and leave the rooftop. Above me, the moon is ominous. Below me, the city resembles the ocean abyss. I feel loathing and suspicion for the servant fighting with me. The variables just keep piling up in this Holy Grail war. Regardless, that servant feels slightly friendlier than yesterday. He was gazing out at the city. When I saw his indifferent expression, I couldn't help but think that he was incorrigibly evil. And yet, contradictorily, I also felt that he loved the world and the people in it. Next, 3/dialogue. What the hell did that just say? Okay. Okay, so we are back here, and so that's going to be my sign to end the video for now. Flag list. We'll ignore some of this for now. Let's save and title. Okay. So, we're probably gonna sit in the gallery right here, so that it doesn't play the outro movie. Okay, so things got interesting. I mean, we got some cool slice of life scenes. I'm trying to remember some of the ones we got. We got the solo scene with Makidera. We got the scene of Makidera and then the other two girls whose names I have already forgotten, unfortunately. Saigusa is one of them. Oh, I forgot the last one. The glasses chick. She's evil, bro. She's evil. Like, in, slice of life evil. Not like, Angra Mayu evil. But God, what else did we even see? Oh, the Overseer. That was a big one, I'd say. We got to see the Overseer really start to come into play. A little bit, right? But they're kind of mysterious. Like, the new Overseer replacing Kirei, like, who are they? Who is it? Why have we not seen them? I don't know, right? That's something that I'm sure is going to get set up here soon enough. But that was intriguing. Absolutely intriguing. Oh, we had the Shinji and Issei scene. That scene was funny as hell, man. Look, I can't claim to be a fan of Shinji. That dude's a piece of shit, right? We know this, right? But he was pretty funny in that scene. In slice of lifey scenes, he can be kind of funny, I can't deny that. I cannot deny that. Goodness. What other slice of life scenes did I get? Oh, one where we got to see Fujimura be a little more serious as a teacher, which was cool to see. We got to see a little bit of Kazuki. We saw Caster. Dude, the Caster and Assassin one, that was funny as hell, man. That was really funny. And that's something I really appreciate about this game. We get to see it, like kind of this new side of a lot of characters, and it's pretty funny so far, honestly. It's hard to make deep commentary on something like the Assassin scene, right? But, it was funny. I enjoyed seeing that side of Caster. And it just, Assassin being a snarky little shit, right? You could use your command spells, to force me to sweep this floor. You could waste your magical energy to materialize me so that I can sweep for you, right? Come on, man. But, I think beyond that, we got a bad end where when we tried to cross the bridge, we got cooked by Archer, and I kind of wonder if that ties into what we just saw on Holy Grail War Night 2, right? I think that's what they called it, at least. But the scene we just saw, where at one point Archer was up top, right, and they went and pursued him, I wonder if maybe now that that's done, we can cross that bridge with Shiro, or something like that. I mean, we've also got, like, I assume at some point we'll be allowed to bring Saber around, which will certainly make things easier, right? Certainly bolster our odds. Really, though, the interesting segment, like, it was mostly just, like, kind of fun slice of life with some minor intrigue until we got to Bazett again. And the Bazett scene, like that whole segment was fascinating. So first of all, we learned a lot about, like, Bazett, like, her personality, kind of. We got to see that she grew up clearly admiring Cucullin. There's no way it's anyone else. Like, we saw his outfit as Lancer on, like, them, like, back to back, right? Like, I wonder if it'll show here. Also, what the hell is that? I don't have a clue. But, yeah, I don't see that scene of those two back to back. See if anything's here. No, not really. Oh, I mean, I don't think anything would be here. Yeah, so I actually don't see it here. Maybe I'm just blind and have scrolled past. Oh, it's literally right here. Oh, wow. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, so that's... We can guess who that is, guys. I don't even think it zoomed in all the way. I think it, like, cut off at the neck, right? But it was obvious who it was, you know? That's who she was attempting to summon. Oh, there's Tosaka ruining everything. She was attempting to summon Cucullin, and I mean that wasn't really a shock to me. I kind of figured out instantly that that's who she was going for. I mean, literally just her name, right? Bazett Fraga McRemitz, right? I'm like, holy Irish, right? Like, at least the last name there, right? You know, and she's like, man, I was trying to summon someone else, right? And I'm like, huh, she could conveniently be the master who had their command spells taken in Fate's Stay Night, which really does beg the question as to how the hell she's here now. I don't know. Maybe she actually... Maybe her original deal, like, and this is why she forgot everything, maybe it's something like when she was being defeated by Kirei, right? I don't know. Maybe, like, she made some kind of pact with Angermayu. Like, maybe it's something like that, and that's why she's here now. Because, like I firmly believe, like, she's that one who was originally Lancer's master, right? I guess I could... I'm not 100% sure if that's, like, confirmed in Stay Night. So I don't know, like, I don't know if they say her name in Stay Night and we know already that that's 100% what this is, or if I'm just making a lot of inferences that make sense to me. I actually don't know. I mean, so I guess I'm making inferences that make sense to me, but I don't know if this was explicitly confirmed that she is that Magus, right? I don't know if they ever say the name of the Magus in Stay Night. I do not remember. Anyways, like, all of this to say that I suspect that she was, which does make me curious how she got here. She seems to really admire Cucullin, and so I'm really looking forward to, surely eventually they get some scenes together. I'm intrigued to see how that's gonna go. I'm really also super curious to see how she's gonna cross over with Shiro, right? Like, and then, I mean, you've also got, you've also got the Edelfelts, right? And whoever this is, right? Like, we have a lot of potential masters, you know? I'm almost wondering, is there, like, a whole set of a new 7? right? Or are some of the like the old masters kind of repeats? Because like the Edelfelt twins, right? Like I'm trying to leave. I guess I gotta hit escape. What in the world? Like these twins, right? Like they have Saber, right? So it makes me wonder if there's just a full set of 7 like new like masters, right? On top of the ones we already know, like something like that, or if it's just going to be a few new ones and we've essentially seen all the new ones with Bazett, these two, and whoever this woman is. I really don't know like how this is going to tie in. Is this like a whole new war, and like everyone who still has their servants from the last one just kind of feels this new one beginning because of the Holy Grail, or are they all actually being called? I don't know. Like there's a lot to this like new war that I'm really curious to see how it's going to play out. But like that's just like big picture narrative stuff. But also Bazett with Angra Mayu, like that's fascinating. Where's this gonna go? We're gonna get to learn about like Angra Mayu, the force that corrupted the Grail, right? And is now fighting. I guess maybe that's why they can just rewind as much as they want, because this is just the Grail, right? Or the force corrupting the Grail. I'm really curious to see more of them, because they kind of just show up and Stay Night, and then you learn that they corrupted the Grail and like ruined everything. And I don't want to say that's it, right? But like there's a lot left kind of unanswered about them, right? And this is the chance to really learn a lot more about them, and I am super fascinated at that prospect. As well as like Bazett is kind of set up to be almost this interesting, like especially with Angra, is set up to be almost like similar but kind of a foil to Shiro at the same time, right? Where it's like she also kind of has those ideas of like, I want to, I guess like, I don't want to literally just like Paragon of Virtue is how they described it, right? I didn't want to literally rip Hero of Justice, right? But like she kind of wants to do the right thing at times, but her mage training has like it goes against that in a way. The interesting thing is Angra Mayu specifically, like I don't really see anything wrong with it, right? Even though they don't care for the concept of like being a hero of justice, right? They don't care for the concept, but they're like, in a self-serving way, why not, right? Like, if you enjoy swooping in and saving people, why not, right? Like, kind of like a seek your own pleasure however you find it kind of thing. And I'm kind of curious to see how this plays out. And specifically, I'm curious how Bazett is going to interact with Shiro, right? Like, are their beliefs going to clash? Are they going to work together? I don't know. Like, I'm really curious to see how the big picture story is going to play out here, you know? I'm really enjoying this game so far. There's a lot of game left to be played, for sure. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how this all plays out. I don't know when the next episode will be out. Hopefully sooner than later. I'll try to watch a few more Stay Night episodes before the next one. I'm still trying to slowly catch up. Maybe by the end of the Hollow Ataraxia, I'll be caught up on Stay Night. Wouldn't that be great? I guess maybe I should just be rewatching Heaven's Feel, right? Like, see anything I can about Angra Mayu, right? But like, that seems obviously like it's going to be a big deal in this route, so maybe I should just skip to Heaven's Feel. I feel like actually, so far it kind of feels like I probably could skip Unlimited Blade Works, but also skipping Unlimited Peak Works, like, come on, bro. Like, I don't know that I can do it. If I make it that far, I don't know if I can do it. But yeah, well, I'll try to catch up a little bit, and then I'll record another episode, and I guess we'll just keep that going. I'm enjoying the hell out of the game. I hope you guys are enjoying the Let's Play. As always, if you guys have any feedback, let me know. I'm always down to hear it, especially while we're still early. But that is all I have time for today. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. I hope you guys are looking forward to the next episode whenever that comes out. I'm not 100% sure when that will be, but whenever it is, I hope to see all of you guys there. Peace.